We're hump day. We're 1 day away. Oh, hell yeah. Give it to me again. Yeah. How we looking? Bill Michaels Show. Beautiful Wednesday. Weather's nice. Oh, I got my first grass cut in yesterday. You know me on the tractor, especially a new tractor. Ha, 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 ha. Neighbors were a little offended. I did it without pants, but that's okay. Everything was tucked underneath. Good day yesterday. I cut 2 yards, as a matter of fact. I cut 2 yards. So I got crazy yesterday. I'll tell you about that. Welcome into the program today. We have got a banner show. We have got Sam Bruchhaus, Sumer Sports, going to join us. We're going to talk a lot of draft stuff coming up here in about half an hour. We're going to go inside the Fiserv Forum. Our buddy Jim Owczarski is going to give us the latest on the coaching search and everything that's going on there. Brewers get yet another win and really didn't gain any ground, but everybody's winning right now in the National League Central. I mean, they gained a game there over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's fallen to the basement now. But still, the National League Central, man, they're getting it done. They're winning. Everybody else is faltering miserably. But nevertheless, I like it. I like the fact that they're still winning, and they're winning without their dogs. No Churio, no Vaughn, no Yelich. They're winning games without their. Yes, thank you very much for those that are wondering. I am wearing. I love this thing too. I'll tell you this: if you did not get in on the pop-up store and buy the polo shirts, oh my God, the Adidas polo shirts. I knew I liked Adidas. I always wear Adidas, okay? But oh my God, are these nice? We should sell these again. We should just sell these permanently. These things are fantastic. So yes, thank you for noticing. I am wearing the new Bill Michaels Show with the Big Unit Foundation logo right here. There you go. For those who can see it over on TV. And the Adidas shirt. I love these things. I love Adidas and I love these things. Fantastic. Fantastic. No, Bobby, I went and bought a new John Deere, believe it or not. I did. And here's the reason why, is because I looked at the Skag, and as much as I love it, two things. One is they were a sponsor for 1 year, and we promoted their race team and everything. But secondly is because I bought the other tractor for my son. So they had a really good deal at the local dealership on a break if you bought two. And my son needed one, and I changed everything up. I kind of did a shuffle on that. But my son, him and his wife just bought a home, and they need a tractor too. And so I thought my old tractor was going to be done. And it still ran great. I wouldn't have really thought about buying a new one, but Kristen needed one. So I bought mine. I bought a new one for my son, and my old tractor, which is really easy to operate, I gave to Kristen. So now she's got one for her yard, which is really easy to operate. And that way, if she just wants to cut the grass herself, it's really easy. And she enjoys riding the tractor that I had versus the one that she had. She had a Yardworks, and it was very difficult to operate because it wasn't hydrostatic drive. This one was just lower the deck. You're good to go. And then boom, all you got to do is just push the gas and then move your foot to the side and push the reverse. It's really easy. So I gave her a tractor. So everybody's got a tractor. And I said this yesterday, I got a nice coupon. So I bought her a new Weber grill, because the next grill that I gave her a couple of years ago, the piece of crap just fell apart. Those things are just garbage. But I bought her a really nice Weber grill. And so now she's got a grill. She's got a tractor. I cut my yard yesterday, got done with that, sprinted out to her house, cut her yard. I sprayed it down with the Scott's Turf Builder weed and feed. And now I've got more stuff coming to her house to put in mulch and all that kind of stuff to make her house look like a show place. So I did good stuff yesterday. I did good stuff. And burned a lot of calories. Drank a lot of water yesterday, burned a lot of calories, beautiful days. And it was just a nice thing going on. I feel good today. Woke up and felt really, really good. So I'm a happy camper today. If that's still a term, I don't know if you can still use that because that's like so 80s, but there you go. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. That's the phone number. Please call us. We enjoy it when you do. Please call us. You can track us down at that number, or 608-321-1670. You can text us at that number. Text us. Find us there. Also, there's so many other ways to find us. You can do it via email, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. You can find the website simply thebillmichaels.com. We're over on X on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. Find Grant at Wisco Grant. Our app, by the way, which is great. It'll take us anywhere and everywhere. Watch us, listen to us, whatever. You can find us over there, and that is on Wisco Sports Zone. I had to think about it for a minute. Wisco Sports Zone. Find us there. I don't know who it is this morning, but whoever it is that's over on Instagram, you're killing me. You're killing me because they'll follow me, they'll unfollow me, follow me, unfollow me, follow me, unfollow me. And the counter behind me is going nuts. It's been going nuts all morning as I've been sitting here getting some work done. But if you do follow us on Instagram, you'll make the counter move and we'll go up. We had a couple people that followed since last night, which is awesome. So keep following us. We're at 4,865. We'd like to get to 4,900 by the end of the week. That's our goal. To get if we can get to 5,000, that'd be great. But we'd like to get to 4,900. So there we go. So anyway, we got that. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on TikTok. We're on the Kick app, the Twitch app, the LinkedIn app as well. And don't forget, our television show is every Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time on My 24 TV. That's seen in Milwaukee. Tomorrow night, yes, Pack fan, we are doing the first round of the NFL draft because it still pertains to the Green Bay Packers because we want to see what the Bears and the Lions and the Vikings do. So there you go. So we're still going to be here tomorrow night, still going to be bringing you all the action, and then following who is chosen, and then more importantly, who is not chosen, and how they may push down the board going into round 2 the next day. So there you go. We're going to be there. Thank you very much. We're going to be here for every pick of the NFL draft. There you have it. All right, let's get to him. Grant Bills, how the hell you doing today, man?
I'm doing outstanding. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. Maybe the best day of 2026 so far.
It's a nice day.
And unlike 2 nights ago, I got a good night's sleep. I wanted to stay up late and watch the end of the West Coast games, the Avalanche and the Lakers and the Rockets. And I'm like, I'm an adult, man. I can't stay up watching a first-round basketball game or a hockey game until, 12:15 in the morning. So I did a little bit of the hockey and basketball. The Brewers win was great, but the thing that I was most entertained by last night was the Mets. They lost 12 in a row. And in the top of the 9th inning in a tie game, Devin Williams went walk, sack bunt, single, walk. And they pulled him. And the Mets lost 12 in a row. Mm-hmm. And they want David Stearns, they want him fired, but they probably want worse in New York. Yeah. And I'm enjoying watching it happen from the sideline over here.
2 things I gained from last night. One is the overtime win last night with Tampa Bay was fantastic. That was a hell of a game in hockey last night. I was watching that. And then the slob knobbage of LeBron, who played well. Don't get me wrong.
I was going to say he was great.
He was great last night. But you'd have thought that Jesus Christ actually waited past Easter to rise from the dead, listening to the 4-Letter Network today. He deserves a lot of accolades. I can't stand LeBron, you know that, but he deserves a lot of accolades. But they've been waiting for this, and it is just it's almost obscenely verbal. It's just just gargle on LeBron. It's oh my God.
Well, Jesus had a 3-year run. LeBron's in year 23 here. So if we're comparing figures, I think the NBA needs Steph. He's done. They need LeBron. They need Durant. They need these guys. Wemby left with a concussion last night, and I know they have some good young stars like Wemby's awesome and Cooper Flagg, but they still need the pop that LeBron and Kevin Durant is giving them. They still need a little bit of that older crowd.
Ant-Man, SGA, all those guys, they need the young up-and-comers, and Wemby's the newest. It's funny because they're saying all the things about Wemby that only a couple of years ago they were saying about Giannis. That's the funny thing about it. Yeah. So I just thought that was rather comical listening to some of that stuff this morning, and, what life without Wemby and this and that. And, I wonder if when Wemby gets to the end of his deal, if they're going to be trying to bust him out either to LA or New York, the way they've been doing Giannis. I don't think so, because San Antonio's won championships of recent ilk with Popovich.
They have pedigree.
And they've got something there, but yeah.
I wonder if the Nuggets lose to, the Wolves in this series. I think that's maybe going to be one of the best first round series. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not acting like the media is picking on the Bucks because the Bucks stink. if the Bucks were losing in the second round of the playoffs or in the conference finals and everyone's banging on the table to get Giannis out, I think that's a little silly. The Bucks stink. You know what I mean? Like the Nuggets don't stink. The Spurs, some of these other markets. I wonder if the Nuggets come up shorter if they lose in the first round again, if there will be any, frustration from Jokic or his camp in Denver. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I wonder. If he's going to want to bust out of there. That's a great question. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Brewers win last night. It's good to see them continue to win. Every win they get without their dogs is icing on the cake. Just icing on the cake. You take it. I have to be honest, I'm a little surprised at Cincinnati, at what they're doing. We knew the Cubs were going to be good because we all thought the Cubs were going to be a team that was going to be right there anyway. But I'm a little surprised. Are you surprised about how well Cincinnati is playing? And Cincinnati, it's funny because it's almost like down there, they're waiting for them to lose. But Cincinnati, man, I'm talking to my buddy Scott yesterday, and I'm driving home from Kristen's house, and he's watching his game, watching the Reds. And then every time something bad happens, he's just ripping the hell out of them. And, they scored a run. Well, maybe they'll win this one too. It's just like this ball of negativity. It sounds like I asked him, I said, are you a Wisconsinite? And he said, what do you mean? I said, because you sound exactly like Wisconsin fans. Like, the Brewers are going to lose. Oh, they won that game and they got lucky. And I said, you're just complaining about a win. Oh, this ain't going to last. These guys are a bunch of idiots. This ain't. The one thing they do have, to be really kind of fired about is that they've got right now what's certainly working towards the rookie of the year early on this season, because they've got a couple of guys down there that are playing extremely well. But they've got I can't remember who their guy is off the top of my head. Oh crap! They got a young guy. He's a rookie of the year. And
Chase Burns?
No.
He pitched last night.
No. He plays Sal Stewart. Sal Stewart. Is it Sal Stewart?
Yep, I think
Sal
so.
Stewart. That guy is yes. Amazing right now. 8 home runs on the season, from what I understand. And
he has 8? I didn't know he had that
many.
He's
got 8 already, yeah. Now, he plays in a bandbox down there. That place, Great American, and they've got early season warm weather. When the weather gets warm down there, the ball flies out of that ballpark. Just ask Yelich. He loves that place. But that guy is all over it. Sal Stewart has been all over it, man. And they're excited about him, and he's paired up on that side of the infield with Ellie De La Cruz. And Ellie De La Cruz put on 12 pounds of muscle this offseason. And if you saw the highlight the other day where he went into the hole and threw from left field and on a fly, on a BB, threw out the base runner. And that was always his bugaboo, was he couldn't throw. And he went to a camp this offseason where all he did was have 3 coaches with him and he just got ground balls and work on throws. And he worked on his mechanics. And now he looks like, with his speed and agility and ability to get to the ball, if he can start converting some of these things into outs, he went from being a guy who's a liability to possibly a Gold Glove winner, because he's just that good and that fast in the hole. And with the 12 pounds of muscle, I think he's got 5 dingers on the season already as well. So they've got some things that are better down there. It's whether or not, and they don't even have Hunter Green back yet, which is their starting pitcher. So they've got some good things going. But I'm a little surprised at how well they're playing this early in the season. But hey, Terry Francona said they laid the groundwork last year, and now they're ready to run this year. So we'll see. We'll see if that continues on. But the Brewers still plugging away. Got another win yesterday. Hopefully they get a win tonight, and then they play for the sweep or the rubber game, so to speak, in the series coming up on Thursday before they finally come back home. But yeah, Brewers got a win. Packers, Goody spoke yesterday. All is right with the world. And then we got Sam Bruchhaus talking more draft coming up here at bottom of the hour. And then we're going to talk to Jim Owczarski today. And we're going to go inside the Fiserv Forum as to what is actually going on in the head coaching hunt for the Bucs, for the next guy. And it appears like it might be a former assistant. At least that seems to be the front runner. We'll talk more about that when we come back as well. But Jim Owczarski is going to join us today and talk a little bit about that. And then obviously, the words from Giannis talking about how he should have ended the trade talks during prior to the trade deadline this year. And will that kind of carry over into the offseason, and tell everybody to stop talking about him going somewhere else and that he's going to sign a Supermax here. So we'll get into all of that as well. So, Goose Egg says, why the neon green? We went graffiti today. We went young today. Our background is graffiti. And for those that are watching on Instagram or on your phone or something like that, now we offer both. We offer both portrait and landscape viewing, and we upgraded our system. We got portrait and landscape viewing, and it all comes up now properly in both, on the portrait side for those that are watching on their phone, and the landscape side for those that are watching on TV at home, or you're casting it through YouTube, or you're watching it on your laptop or whatever, or maybe on your desktop at work. We got both now. So we have gotten advanced. And I'm feeling spry today. So that's it. I think we covered all the bases right out of the chute. We could pretty much end the show here if we wanted to.
Do you want to? It's nice outside. I'm sit outside in the parking lot.
I would love to. I'm supposed to be going on vacation next week. So I'm counting down the days. But really, honestly, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. And then you know what I'm looking forward to? Friday. Because I'm coming out there. I'm coming out there for the grilled cheese thing.
That's right. Zach's making grilled cheese on Friday.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
So I've got to, we're on the air till now, with it being a shorter draft, because it is not, they don't want to take it until 1 a.m. Eastern time. So they went from 10 minutes to 8 minutes in between teams. So it's a shorter draft now. We should be done by 11 tomorrow night. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Should be with shorter picks. Yeah.
Yeah. So we should be with shorter picks. So I think we're 7 to 11 tomorrow night, 4 full hours, which gives me a little time to tear the set down, what I need, pack it up, and then get it out to Madison early on Friday morning. And that might be the only thing, because I did the fast, by the way. I told you about that I was doing the fast. Today at 10 a.m., I finished my fast today, and I lost in the fast. I did the oregano pills, which, by the way, I'm just telling you, the oregano pills work. The things they do to you on the inside of your body, and what goes in must come out. So, because yesterday I was like, man, this isn't working. I don't feel real good. And then yesterday afternoon, I felt it, and it all happened. And so I lost in the fast, I lost 5.5 pounds. And now you reintroduce things back into your body after you've cleansed it for 2 days. It's not a ayahuasca thing, just so you know. But you cleanse it for 2 days, and now you begin to build back up. And now I'm doing what's called a military workout. It's really all your own body weight of stuff, and you do it at your own pace. And the only thing cardio-wise that I do is my bike. I love to ride my bike, and not the motorcycle, because that would not give you cardio at all. But just between walking and my bike, I've got a Peloton, and that's it. So from the beginning of when I started this, I don't know, back in March, whatever, to where I am today, I think today I am now down a total of 14 pounds. So, and I'm feeling really good. So at least I won't be completely embarrassed in taking a shirt off coming up next week when I hit the beach. So there you go. All right, let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Oh, we got more. We got a lot more. We're fired up on a Wednesday. Beautiful Wednesday. Stay tuned. A whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. Just getting it done. Everybody have one. Everybody have one. Have one. More of the Bill Michaels Show next. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Powell Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Hey, better. Swing in the Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee for the $300,000 Big League Series. Just play with your rewards card over 3 months to earn entries. Here's the lineup. Leading off April, on deck May, in the hole June. All monthly entries you earn will roll into drawings on Friday, June 26th, where you could win cash, free play, or one of 3 new Toyota vehicles. It's the $300,000 Big League Series, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Yeah, Bill, I think for me, I'm always trying to do my very, very best to take the best player available. I very much believe as we build our board that subconsciously that our needs are factored in. And I think we try to do as much as we can prior to the draft to feel like we could go play a game tomorrow if we had to and feel really good about our chances. So that's the way I feel right now. So certainly at times where you have players rated equally, sometimes positional need, may factor in, but I try to fight against that as much as possible.
Goody! There you go. Brian Goodikins yesterday talking to the media. This portion of it, I would assume there's going to be a lot of people tomorrow night over it. It's tomorrow night and Tuesday, for that matter, in Titletown at Home Field Pub and Social. Restaurant, Top Golf, the swing suites are fantastic. All the simulators and the food. Oh, yeah. Food is good. Great place to go. And don't forget, they are the official home of the Green and Gold postgame show after every Packers home game. Regular season and postseason. After every Packers home game. Yeah, can't wait. Home Field Pub and Social. Right there in Titletown. If you're looking for a place to go, something new, something fresh, and something good that maybe you haven't discovered or you want to rediscover, that is Home Field Pub and Social. Restaurant, Top Golf on Lombardi Avenue in Titletown. Stop in and tell Jason and the whole crew we said howdy. Yes, tomorrow night, you are right, Grant, that it is 7 to 10 tomorrow night. 7 till 10, not 7 till 11, because they did shorten it. So there you go.
Which, thank God, especially in this draft.
Right.
Like, we don't need 10 minutes. I don't need you to do it all, rapid fire, 2 minutes apiece, but let's do 8. 7, 8 minutes a pick that's plenty.
Yep. I would wholeheartedly agree with you. Ronald says, still don't understand the best player available. How about the best player available in the position you need? No, because maybe that player is not as valuable as another player. The best player available is you've put value on players because you're paying these guys. Let's just say you don't need, an offensive tackle and a linebacker, and your need is a corner, but you're at the end of the first round and you're like, well, the next corner available is this guy, but he's valued as a second round guy. Why are you going to pay a guy that you can get in the second round, first round money, just because that's what your need is? And you may be passing on an all-pro Hall of Fame tackle who is worth that amount of money. You don't overpay. You know who used to do that? Jim Bowden. Jim Bowden used to do that with the Cincinnati Reds. His draft philosophy was, hey, because they were cheap, hey, I'll go ahead and draft you, even though I know you're a third rounder. I'll give you a first round pick, but this is the amount of money we'll agree upon. And then he would, get them down in money. So they'd get a little bit more than a third round, but they wouldn't have to pay anybody first round money. And that way they do it on the cheap. You don't overvalue players. That's the reason you stick to your draft board. You pick your guys, who's really good, who's really bad, and then you put everybody in between, and that's your value. And you stick to that. Otherwise, you end up paying more for players that aren't worth that. And, now granted, you got to be right on your evaluation, and that player has to have the heart of a lion. He has the ability and the agility and the skill and the tenacity to be able to play in the NFL. Okay, all of that comes into play. And his medical's got to be great. He can't get hurt. I mean, he's got to, build that longevity of a career. So I get it. It's somewhat of a crapshoot, but I have never been a fan of somebody, who reached? Mike Sherman reached. At the end of Mike Sherman's tenure, he was reaching for guys. Oh, we don't have a great punter? B.J. Sander. Remember? Third round draft choice? But they needed a punter. That was we need a punter. Okay, let's go get B.J. Sander, who never turned out to be that good. But let's go get B.J. Sander. Okay, great. Well, you needed it, but he was not the best available. But because you needed it, you went third round. I mean, that's a perfect example of reaching for a guy that did not deserve to be there.
He was no J.K. Scott also, to be fair.
Yeah, well, that's true, too. Good drop it. Like that. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. We would love to hear from you. 877-867-1670. Who is this? Cooley J. Cooley J says, I think the defensive tackle position is probably going to be the position of priority for the Green Bay Packers right out of the chute. Your thoughts? Cooley J, it would not surprise me if they took a wideout. It would not surprise me if they took a defensive tackle. It would not surprise me if they took themselves a corner. I think, again, going back to the discussion that I just had, whatever the best available, and let's just say the best available at that point in time is a running back. You don't need a running back. Somebody else does. So maybe you let them trade up. You get a couple of extra draft picks. Your guy that you're wanting, you're looking at right now, value-wise for the position of need, you get an extra draft pick and you drop back. Smart way to go. But you don't just take them at that point in time to take them. Unless you can't find anybody else to trade with you. Then you think about it in that aspect. Hopefully that makes sense. Hey, our friends at All Nations Solar and Electric, they have got stuff for you if indeed you need stuff to get done. Because Master Electrician Greg, man, he's the dude. And it doesn't matter if you got a light switch in your home that's not working right, or maybe all of a sudden you're popping circuit breakers for whatever reason, or maybe your garbage disposal or your garage door isn't working over there because there isn't electric, whatever the reason, or maybe you just need the whole house redone. Call Master Electrician Greg, 920-661-7577. Or if you're thinking about, I'm going to go off the grid, man. I just want to start paying my own bills and not paying somebody else to juice my house. Maybe you go solar. You can do that too. AllNationsSolarElectric.com. That's AllNationsSolarElectric.com. Check them out. And they're serving the Fox Valley and Northeast Wisconsin, and they are fantastic. Again, allnationssolar.electric.com, serving the Fox Valley and Northeast Wisconsin. But Greg's the man. Call Greg, 920-661-7577, 920-661-7577, allnationssolar.electric.com. Sam Bruchhaus, Sumer Sports, talking the draft next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Not unlike any other draft, we'll have some players that we'll talk about moving up to go get. I'm sure there'll be some scenarios to move back as well. So, but it's always hard to watch these players we've studied so thoroughly over the last, few months and year really to come off and not help the Green Bay Packers right now.
Welcome back. Brian Gutekunst speaking to the media yesterday and talking about how difficult it is to, scout these guys, pay attention to these guys, and to get to know these guys, maybe interview these guys, start to fall in love with some of their numbers and such. And all of a sudden, no more because they come off the board. So you got to kind of remain patient. You don't want to, jump up just to jump up because you fell in love with a guy. And that was one of Ted Thompson's bugaboos. He said, you never can fall in love with anybody. You just stick to your board and try not to get emotional about the NFL draft. Joining us now on the hotline from Sumer Sports, our buddy Sam Bruchhaus is here. Sam, how you been, pal?
I've been fantastic. I'm getting ready to fly to lovely Atlanta, Georgia, to the Sumer Sports studios to film our live draft show, which will be on YouTube on @Sumer Sports. If you're watching on YouTube, go subscribe right now. It's going to be me. It's going to be Lindsey Rhodes. It's going to be Mike Mayock making his return to live draft coverage. And then Friday and Saturday, it's just going to be this ugly mug up there all the time talking draft.
Well, my question to you, to the ugly mug is, if you're the Green Bay Packers, and you just heard Brian Gutekunst, how hard it is to kind of stand pat and to wait until 52 to be able to draft somebody. If you guys do all the mocks, what do you think the Packers are looking at?
So let's talk about standing pat real quick. There is definitely a difference between 52 in the consensus big board or in the draft position and, like 15 or 30. The good thing is you have premium positions. You have Micah Parsons on the team. You have Jordan Love on the team. And that's typically the only place where you can find quarterbacks or quality edge rushers are going to be at the very tippy top of the draft. Wide receiver, very similar. A lot of assets have been spent on wide receivers. So where I think they are perfectly suited to go, 52 is actually one of my favorite spots in this draft. And especially for the Green Bay Packers, because you could potentially go offensive line depth. Keelan Rutledge right now, who I love. Frankly, I think he's going to get taken in the first round. But in the consensus, he's around 51 in mock drafts. Great interior offensive line player, will provide depth. Lee Hunter, interior defensive line, got to have some replacements there. You may be looking at D'Angelo Pons if he drops a spot or two to play a nickel slot cornerback position, also add depth to the defensive backfield. In my opinion, those are the three biggest needs right now for the Green Bay Packers. They will all be available at 52. And moreover, they are three positions that I actually think will have a flatter draft curve this year, meaning that if you do decide to go interior offensive line, defensive line, or defensive back, I think the players that will be available at 52 are actually closer to the players that will be drafted in the first round than the other positions.
Yeah, it does. When you and I talked to the combine, we thought, okay, there's a few guys, it's kind of top heavy in the top 10, 15. After that, it really it's not that there's bad players. It's just that nobody stands out. The elite are gone. And then there's this level of pool. And then it doesn't have a ton of drop off. So, nobody's really going to be wanting to trade up desperately unless they feel like the other team that they're fighting for wants that wide receiver or wants that running back. So if you stand pat, chances are you're still going to probably get a pretty good player, right?
I think so. I think you're looking at this draft, and because there's so many question marks. Number one, about where the extreme premium, non-premium players are going to go. I'm talking about Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and Jeremiah Love in particular, that teams may kind of lose it and move up and try to get those players. And then you're sitting there with really good players just getting pushed down the board. And that has trickle-down effects. So there's a real chance that a first-round talent could actually fall to 52. We typically don't see that happen in like a 20-pick range per se. But if it's going to happen, this is going to be the draft because of the wide receivers at the top. I think that there's immense demand for them at the top. The offensive tackles, I think as many as 7 or 8 tackles could go in the first 25 picks, much less the first round. And if that starts happening in these runs on the premium non-premium positions and the premium positions, then you start getting safeties, linebackers, interior offensive linemen, tight ends, interior defensive linemen falling down the board, and that's a perfect setup for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, we all know they need corners, and Goody has made no bones about it that they have to add to that room. We all know they want to add maybe a true. He even said one of his quotes yesterday, which I thought was so kind of interesting. He said, "I've got an appetite for a pure nose." So we're probably thinking they're going to get a defensive lineman, a pure nose tackle, and he is not adverse to adding to the wide receiver room as well. But when you guys go through and say, okay, this team needs this, and this, what are your priorities when you look at the Green Bay Packers?
I think you nailed it right there. I think interior defensive line is the key, and I think adding defensive back depth. I also do think we talked about it all last year. Inconsistencies across the offensive line. Not a lot has changed in the offensive line. That is something that I think they can address in the middle rounds certifiably. I think talking about best player available, you take the best player available at 52. In my mind, if D'Angelo Pons is available, you got to take him.
Do you take him as small as he is, as short as he is?
100%. He is one of the best analytical profiles for a defensive back that we have seen. The things that we really care about, yards per coverage snap, is one that we really, really care about. Patrick Surtain's excellent at it. You see other guys in the league that are excellent at it. He was 99th percentile going back to 2016 amongst cornerbacks in the draft. He shut people completely down. And he wasn't playing Joe Schmoes. He did it at James Madison, but then he also did it in Indiana. He was shutting down the Jeremiah Smiths of the world, et cetera, et cetera. So Pons, I think, is a player that reasonably dropped to 52. He doesn't have premier size. But when you're sitting at 52, that's great value if you can get a player like that. And I'm really intrigued by him. I think that should be the best player available. Frankly, I think he may get taken earlier, however.
I was going to say, I said all along, if he was 6 foot, he's top 10. Hands down, right?
Yeah, but he makes plays. Like the problem with the 5'9" guys is that they're going to be able to mirror and they're going to be able to, eliminate space, but you'll never get the playmaking ability. Pons makes plays. Yeah. And he did it in the Big Ten. He did it at other places. So when you have that playmaking ability and you're not going to get lost per se, I just think he's going to be the best available player. If he's not taken, I know there's interest in him in the high 40s. Potentially. So I think he could come off the board a little higher. Our scouts love him. The analytics love him. And when the eye meets the AI, that's when there's real juice behind these prospects.
What do you think of Keontae Scott? He's another guy out of Miami, a corner, rated in that 45 to 55 range. If he's there, should the Packers grab him?
He's another guy that I consider as someone, basically Scott and Pons in particular are the reason why I would hold off from taking Jermon McCoy if the injury report is not very good. You look at Avion Terrell and some of the other cornerbacks at the top. I'm just am not in love with their analytics. And so I think you're okay dropping back there. So I think Keontae Scott should definitely be considered as well. That's a guy who pretty much exclusively played slot as compared to Pons, who pretty much exclusively played outside and people are projecting to slot. But I think Scott in particular, we have him as one of the most athletic defensive backs using our tracking data. And I think that's a good sign. There are, didn't really participate at the combine, some injury concerns, potentially some character concerns as well. But I think, you get a player like that into Green Bay and it probably will be a very good fit with the great coaching that they have.
Is there a guy, because the Packers have Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine. Carrington Valentine can play really well one game and the next game gets tossed around like a rag doll and his tackling prowess is none. So you look at Keyshawn Nixon and say, okay, he's not a CB1, but if you get a guy alongside him that's pretty good, he can be better. Is there a guy in the draft that would be there at this, this drafting of 52 that is actually an outside guy that can play maybe man?
I'd really say that Pons is that guy.
Pons is that guy. Okay.
Yeah, I from the analytical perspective think so. Obviously, coaches have different taste, but he did it for a national championship undefeated team and was the absolute cornerstone of that defense. So much so that teams just kind of stopped targeting him as the year went on. People just stopped challenging him. And when you can cut that half of the field off, he's really a projection to the nickel position. Because he played extremely well outside. He's a guy who can do it all. That's the one. That's like the certified one. If he falls to the Packers at 52, you will see me clapping and running around our studios in Atlanta because that's kind of a perfect fit for him, and it's a perfect fit for the Packers.
Okay, maybe you've convinced me, I think. What about Christian Miller? He's another guy that's going to be there in that particular area. Big defensive tackle out of Georgia. There's a couple of guys that I'm kind of eyeballing. I mean, obviously, you got some other guys that could be there, that could also be in the secondary. If you wanted to go like Malik Muhammad would be another one. He'd be that guy. But there's a couple of guys I look at the nose tackle position or up front. That big kid who's 6'8" out of Ole Miss, his name escapes me at the minute. But there's a couple of guys that I'm kind of looking, that would be a really good fit for the Packers no matter who falls to them.
Yeah, Christian Miller is a apex prospect when it comes to just like the idea. He's coming from a big school. He's a 4 or 5 star recruit. He's bringing all of that with him. A little bit of an injury concern from time to time. Athletic guy built out of stone. I do wonder, however, you go and you look around kind of more the 84 pick. I wonder if that's not the spot for defensive line. Okay. For the Packers. I'm looking at Grayson Halton, who is expected to go late 70s, early 80s. He's like my certified defensive tackle guy, a little smaller, not necessarily a true nose, as Good said that he wanted, but this is a guy who's going to get penetration. He can line up all over the field. He's great in our analytics. He is a little on the smaller side. That's kind of the trend this year with the guys that I really like for the Packers picks. But he stood out at the Senior Bowl as well. Again, eye meeting the AI really makes a difference to me. And if I were a general manager, those are the players that I would want to attack hard. And so he's really a guy that I really like in that position. I do wonder if 84 is more of the position to go and try to get an interior defensive lineman more than 52, where you're kind of dealing more with, can I get another offensive lineman later on in the draft? Am I comfortable with that? Can I get another cornerback later in the draft? I don't really think so.
What about Big Citrus? I mean, he's another guy that's been talked about time and again as far as where the Packers could possibly draft. If he's available, are you grabbing Big Citrus?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on here with these kinds of players. Right. Orange in particular was a guy we highlighted on the evaluation as a guy that our scouts really liked. He didn't necessarily have the analytical profile that we wanted to see, but that's typical amongst guys who are 320, 330 pounds, because they're not going to be a 3-down player unless they're an absolute freak like the guys the Philadelphia Eagles have on the interior defensive line. Mm-hmm. And so all of that kind of blends itself together to make this kind of board where you do take the best player available. Like when it comes down to it, trust the board. I think you are absolutely correct, Bill. Like that has to be the plan for the Green Bay Packers this year. And I think it's all going to work out for them if that's the case. Dominic Orange sitting there at 66. he's going to be in range at 52. And once you start getting further into the second and third rounds, you can move to a 10 pick radius and still feel comfortable in terms of like the consensus and where you may have guys on your board, et cetera, et cetera. So I think he's another viable option, particularly at 52. And if a swap does become available where you move back to the 70s, maybe you add some more mid-round or next year elements, given that you are a team that is in this best player available mode. You know that you're going to be able to compete. You know that you have talent at the quarterback position. You know you have talent at the edge rushing position. It's a very comfortable spot to be in for the Green Bay Packers.
Here's one more question for you. And the Packers, Goody likes to every other year maybe grab himself a quarterback. I don't think they're going to do it this year. But is there a quarterback that you would take late in this draft that would be somewhat of a project that could maybe be a backup to Desmond Ridder?
You look at the success that they had with Malik Willis. Mm-hmm. And the guy who fits that mold this year is Cole Payton out of North Dakota State. A guy who can run. A guy, if it comes down to it, they can break out that weird little wing tee offense that they did early on in the season. I guess it was 2 years ago now, and they did a little bit this season as well, where you have a guy who can run, who can complete passes over the middle and the intermediate range. But he's not going to be Jordan Love. He's not going to be throwing the ball down the field. He's not going to be dropping back 35, 40 times.
Right.
That's the mold that I think LaFleur can really attack for a backup project quarterback. And it's definitely Cole Payton this year. I think you look at the guys like Nussmeier, and I'd even consider Ty Simpson in this range, and Beck. They're not going to provide you a ton of value over what you can really expect. But you add a guy like Cole Payton into a system where we've seen a Malik Willis turn his career around, and that's a real victory for them. And he's going to be available well later in the draft.
Great stuff, Sam. And next week we'll get you on to kind of evaluate what you think the Green Bay Packers did or how they did, okay?
I would love to do it, Bill. Thank you so much for having me.
Good to talk to you again. There you go. Sam Bruchhaus, Sumer Sports, at Sam Bruchhaus on both Instagram and on X. So if you want to get his stuff there and then pay attention to him, Sumer Sports, and follow them. And their draft show coming up tomorrow night down there in Atlanta, and they're going to be on YouTube as well. Good stuff. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Sobelman's Pub and Grill. All they wanted to do was make great burgers. They accomplished that. Then they started making Bloody Marys and doing all kinds of other stuff, and it's just a great place to go. 27 years now. They've been on St. Paul Avenue in Milwaukee. Don't forget they've got the other location in Waukesha on William Street. Same great burgers, same great Bloodies, all that kind of good fun and good stuff, wholesome stuff, stick to your rib stuff right there at Sobelman's. Sobelman's Pub and Grill. Remember,
meet at Sobelman's.
Milwaukee and Waukesha.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Chuck, where can I find your nearest location around Madison?
Great question. The best way to find us is Google Dollar Loan Center near me, or go to don'tbebroke.com, where you can even apply online if you like.
Well, I use ChatGPT now.
I'm sure that would work too. The bottom line is it's worth the effort. We save customers a lot compared to other payday or title places, and we lend way more. We even give all new customers the first week's interest on us, sort of a free trial. There's no fee to apply, and they can keep this loan out for up to a year if they really need to.
Dollar Loan Center loves Madison and lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by Beloit or Madison now, or soon in Janesville and Beaver Dam. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed and regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
That fast, 1 hour down, 3 more yet to go. Welcome back, Bill Michaels Show. We're coming up on the top of the hour. We're going to get back into it as we talk some more and start to go over some of these players that the Green Bay Packers may or may not be drafting. If you got your eye on somebody, give me a shout, and we'll take a look at it and kind of let you know what we think of the player. I've been trying to do everything I can to study up on all this stuff over the last few weeks. Once the Our Lads draft guides got into place, all good stuff. Good stuff. Stay tuned. 3 more hours yet to go. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Got a lot more coming. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the NFL draft is tomorrow in Pittsburgh. The Packers do not have a first-round pick. They'll go pick 52 Friday for the second round. But yesterday saw Packers GM Brian Gutekunst meet with the media and was not shy about one position the Packers must address in this week's draft, and that's cornerbacks.
That's probably our group from a numbers perspective that, as we sit here today, we're going to need to add the most numbers. So we'll see how that goes.
Gutekunst did say, though, he likes the roster as is for the most part.
For me, I really like our squad as it is right now. I like our depth. So certainly we want to add as many good players as we can to increase competition. And obviously some of these guys that we're going to take this year are going to help us. But to me, whether it's a guy that, has a significant ceiling in front of him and he has a ways to get to that, or a guy who's maybe closer to it, I think to me it's going to be more about the best player.
The draft will get underway tomorrow night. And turning to the Brewers, despite missing their 3 top hitters, the crew would put 19 runners on base, score in double digits for the second time, beating the Tigers in Detroit 12-4. Bryce Terang drove in 4 runs. David Hamilton had 4 hits, and the crew have now won 5 of their last 6. It'll be Brewers and Tigers again tonight. First pitch is at 5:40.
For nearly 40 years, ABC Wisconsin Apprenticeship has been helping men and women transform themselves into highly skilled trade professionals. These skills are in demand and provide strong wages and benefits for a bright future. If you're a hands-on person who likes the feeling when you get projects done, apprenticeship could be for you. Go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
Former Wisconsin guard John Blackwell found a new home. He is heading to Duke. And Wisconsin big man Nolan Winter made it official. He is coming back to Madison for his senior season. Winter averaged 13 points, nearly 9 boards on 56% shooting from the field. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Give it to me. Give it to me. Bill Michaels Show. On the air. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. And hopefully your day is going swimmingly, as they say across the pond. But that being said, it's a beautiful day today. We've got draft talk today. Already had Sam Bruchhaus on today. Brewers got a win. Back at it again tonight. I had some good overtime hockey last night that I enjoyed. Did not enjoy watching the Lakers get a win, even though LeBron played out of his ass last night. Can't stand the guy, but give that man the props. He got up and down. He was making some people look foolish last night. So good stuff there. And tomorrow night in Pittsburgh is when the NFL draft gets underway. We will be on the air 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock tomorrow night. 7 o'clock Central Time until 10 o'clock Central Time to all of our network affiliates. If you're going to carry the draft, right here, baby, right here. So thanks for joining us on the program, everybody. Graham Bill's alongside. I'm Bill Michaels. And if you want to get a hold of us and follow us, the Instagram, I don't know who it was earlier, but somebody was on Instagram liking us and unliking us and liking us, unliking us. If you follow us on Instagram, just look up Bill Michaels Show on Instagram, and you can track us down. And the meter behind me, the counter, will count your follow. It'll happen right behind me. You'll see it. You'll probably hear it during the show. But if you do that, follow us on Instagram under Bill Michaels Show, and it'll be right there. You have plenty of ways to track us down. 877-867-1670. That's one. That's phone call. 608-321-1670. That's text message. 608-321-1670. You can find us on X, on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find us, The Bill Michaels Show, The Bill Michaels Show. Plenty of different ways to find us. But TheBillMichaels.com is on the website. TheBillMichaels@gmail.com is the email address. The Bill Michaels Show is over there on Facebook and TikTok, as well as on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well. And our show, Wisconsin Sports Weekly, is 8 o'clock Central Time, right there in Milwaukee. My 24 TV, Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time. My 24 TV in Milwaukee. And to all of you, Johnson R07 started following us. We certainly appreciate you. T. Boger 61. Love the show, listening down in Kansas City. What the hell's going on down there? The Chiefs are leaving the Kansas City area and just moving out. So their loyalty, nah, they're going for the cash, just like the Bears are trying to do. And apparently now in Chicago, Illinois, the state legislature is trying to give the Bears a big tax break to be able to say, okay, please stay, please stay. So who knows? Maybe that'll happen. But nevertheless, so we'll see. Also, Benjamin Doucette. How are we looking today? Thanks for following us over there on Instagram, and everybody else that has decided to track us down over there as well. So, and you can see the counter. It's moving right behind me for those that just chimed in. I got an email during the break because I do want to talk about this stuff. And it said, and this is from Mike. Mike says, hey, Bill. Michael, excuse me. Michael says, hey, Bill, you were talking yesterday about the team that's ready to fly. in the NFC North. And I agreed with you. I thought it would be the Detroit Lions. But what do they need? There seems to be a disconnect between people that think that they need an offensive lineman, or they need a running back, or they need somebody else that's going to help the offense be even more prolific, because last year it just wasn't the same. Well, first and foremost, let me say this. I think that last year wasn't the same because Ben Johnson was gone. The creativity was gone. It certainly looked like it. As a matter of fact, midway through the year, Dan Campbell ended up taking over the play calling himself. So that was part of it. But from our lads, okay, let's go to our lads. They said after spending 2 picks at guard last year, the Lions began the process of remodeling up front. But if the running game is going to ever return to the standard that it was and effectiveness that it was that they enjoyed in 2024, the passing game as well, they're going to need to add offensive linemen. The sudden retirement of Frank Ragnow was the biggest blow, and the timing could not have been worse, with Taylor Decker and Gotham Glasgow beginning to show their ages. Entering the offseason, the Lions needed both a long-term plan at center and tackle as well. So the center spot was filled with the additions of Cade Mays, but the left tackle situation still seems to loom large for them. Then they're talking an edge rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Defensive linemen, they need some defensive linemen, they feel. The Lions were proactive in last year's draft by taking Tyler Williams with their top pick, but they still need more. And then it goes on from there, defensive back, linebacker, wide receiver, and such. So, but their priorities, offensive line, and somebody to help Aiden Hutchinson coming off the edge. So, yes, offensive line still seems to be an area of priority for the Detroit Lions. So, that good stuff, though. Good stuff. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to find us? Do it. We would love to hear from you. Dwayne, listening in Oshkosh. Dwayne, how the hell you doing? What's going on?
Hey, well, Bill, I was going to call you guys yesterday, but then you were telling a story about being on a golf course in your shorts and all that with Friedman.
Yeah.
And I just, man, I had, my stomach went bad for a while, so I just, yeah.
Okay. All right, I can live with that.
Hey, I gotta tell you, Bill, I gotta throw kudos out to Friedman, because way before you, when he was with a guy named Huffy, he was one of the first shows I ever went on.
Okay.
When he was doing Freeman and Huffy.
Yeah, that was WFIC, wasn't it?
WMBE in Chilton, Wisconsin.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gotcha.
Which is a station that I actually helped build.
Okay.
I was one of the first PDs over there. So this is the first year I'm doing the drafts without any accessories. I don't know if they even have magazines anymore, so I'm doing everything. I was telling Glenn, I'm doing everything off of going to YouTube and listening to different pods and all that. And the most interesting things I heard, Gutekunst had a great observation in that presser yesterday about, you remember what Ted Thompson's mantra was, I guess you would call it, you know, all that? I want good football players that love to play football.
Right.
And Goody said something yesterday about the NIL. And I thought, yeah, that does make a difference. If this kid gets a boatload of money in college and now he goes to the pros, he's already got his boatload of money. Does he still love to play football?
Right.
Does he want to be a football player? That's something that is another little, you know, avenue. And there's actually 2 kids that turned down money for NIL that are on Green Bay's my wish list of the possibles. So I got about 4 guys at each position, but it kind of breaks down to what's the position of, you know, what do we, you know, we never draft for need. Anybody thinks it does is silly. It's always that board, and that board happens to fall with really good football players. Seattle does it that way. Miami does it that. Those are all from the Packer draft book. Kansas City, same thing under Johnny Dorsey. I think it's a defensive lineman, and specifically a tackle and a plugger, because some, and I can't give credit to it because I don't remember who it was, but one of the guys I was listening to said Green Bay was 9-3-1. They were the heir apparent to going to the Super Bowl. Nobody was talking about, oh, these corners they can't cover. because they had the pass rush. They had Micah Parsons. They had Wyatt. When you lost those two guys, you lost all semblance of a defensive attack on the line. It's got to get restored. And if I am looking right, I believe Wyatt and Brooks are both in the last years of their contracts.
Devontae Wyatt signed into contract extension.
He did?
Yeah. Yeah,
When was that?
he did that. No, he did that last year.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, he signed a contract extension last year.
Okay. I thought somebody had him at the end of his contract.
I think
that's good.
I thought he
was that just a fifth-year option. I thought.
Yeah,
they picked up his fifth
maybe
year.
it was a fifth-year option. Okay, I was going to say I thought that they were going to give him something because they were talking about signing both him and Quay Walker at the time. Okay,
well, and him and Watson too.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, so those two guys are. So the guy I'm looking at, and it's just there's a bunch of guys out there, but if you're top of the leaderboard at 52, and that's what you say, you're not moving in the first round. There's no possible way. You'd have to give up way too much capital.
Yeah. No, you're not going.
You might move up 10 to 15 in the second round. You might. I'm looking at Big Citrus.
Yeah.
I love this kid. He doesn't seem to have the injury history some other guys have. Christian Miller from Georgia, another one. But Christian Miller is kind of Devontae Wyatt all over again, but Citrus does a lot of things that I look at him and I don't want to go too much out on the skis over the edge, but he could be a gravedigger. He could be a Gilbert Brown.
I would
got
hope.
that kind of. Yeah.
I like him in the sense that I like the fact, and like you had mentioned, that he doesn't have an injury history, which is attractive because we've seen a lot of guys get banged up. And I like the fact that he's been able to hold his own. The thing I like about him is he gets penetration. He's not a big guy when it comes to pressure and sacks. He's a big guy when it comes to cutting off cutback lanes. So if you're going to force a quarterback or a running back to one side or the other, he's a guy that separates that. He brings the wall. And then he makes you either go left or right, and then you have to stay there, which either brings it to Lucas Van Ness's side or brings it to Micah Parsons' side, and we all know what the collapsing pocket can do from there. So he doesn't get a lot of numbers in that sense, but he gets a lot of ability to be able to push that line back and then give you the cutback lanes that aren't there anymore.
And the other thing he has been, they talked about him, and I think Bruchhaus mentioned it on his pod. He does want to try to get to the quarterback a little bit too much, which is where he gets out of place and gets washed away in some place. But when he's not doing that, he is a force. He's a Vince Wilfork. And you look at the last 5 Super Bowl teams, and they all have in common one defensive monster force on their lines, every single one of them.
Yep.
That is huge. And that's what Ron Wolf did. That's why.
Don't forget, though.
They talk about Ron Wolf.
Yeah, your force.
Go ahead, though.
No, your force is going to be Devontae Wyatt. I mean, he started to come into his own before the injury. I mean, Devontae Wyatt was having a hell of a year before he went down. I don't think Citrus is going to come in and be better than Devontae Wyatt. I think he's going to come in and kind of supplement whatever Wyatt and Hargrave can't do. He'll just add an additional body to pay attention to him as opposed to Hargrave and Wyatt. I think Wyatt's going to have a hell of a year.
It's a 3-4, and I don't know if Wyatt can play the nose. But yeah, I think they start, but I think Citrus coming in is a force that we haven't had there.
And that's the reason
and that that rotation.
Yeah, that's the reason yesterday, I appreciate the phone call. That's the reason that yesterday Goody said, and I quote, "I have an appetite for a pure nose." He's trying to find a pure nose tackle. Put Hargrave and Devontae Wyatt alongside. There's your 3 front. You go on the outside with Micah and Van Ness. And then, obviously your linebacking core and company. So, I mean, it doesn't, change things a ton. But, yeah, that's why they're looking for a pure nose tackle.
You want that cut of Goody talking about that yesterday?
Yeah, go ahead. If you got it, go ahead. Yeah.
I think he can do that. I think he's really versatile. He's one of those guys who can kind of play up and down the line along with D. Wyatt. Those guys are going to play a lot of snaps for us, God willing. And they can do a lot of different things. And I like to be versatile that way. But I do think there's probably a little bit more probably appetite for a pure nose, because some of the snaps we're going to play are going to have that, maybe we wouldn't have had that with Jeff. So again, I think we have a lot of guys in house that we're pretty excited about, Stackhouse, Ford, Brinson, that have that kind of size that can do some of those things. Hargrave and Wyatt are so versatile. They're able to kind of go up and down the line of scrimmage, which is nice.
Which that question was about Hargrave, whether or not he could play the nose or not. And he talked about his versatility there. But yeah, he's looking for kind of a pure nose if they can track one down. Listening to us while they're cutting lawns, said, we don't need a wide receiver in the second or the third. We need edge, cornerback, defensive line, O-line. Why in the world take a fourth or a fifth string wide receiver when you need help in the defensive line? Because of the value, if it's there, you take it. And you're talking about a second round guy. You got to say, there's nothing saying that a second round receiver couldn't be your first or second look. If that guy is there, you take him. You can never have too many weapons. I agree with you. Look, my preference would be if you find a really good corner or a really good defensive front. That's my preference. But if it's there and you still feel like you can get your guy or just as much quality later in the draft, you do it. That's what you're paying the general manager to do, to kind of judge and juggle those decisions. There's nothing there's no hard and fast rule that says this is where you have to take this guy at this time. You just take your best available. That's how Ted built a championship team, just taking the best available at the time. That's the way he started out because he knew the team was a wreck. So you needed things across the board, just take best available. And then they grew. And because you had depth of positions, because you had guys that were high quality guys and the cream started to rise all at the same time, that's when you ended up developing a championship team. Oh, by the way, you had Aaron Rodgers on one side and you had Charles Woodson on the other. You had a veteran on the other side. So all of that came together all at the right time. There's no like the ingredients to the mix has to be this. That's what general manager, you don't want a general manager to fall into that hole. Again, that's what Mike Sherman did. He was drafting for what those needs were. That's what we need. And it turned out to be a train wreck. You just take the best available on the board. And if that best available is not something you need at all, you drop back. And you try to get a couple extra or an extra draft choice. You drop back 4, 5, 6 spots, and then you see if you still can't get the guy that you wanted, plus you got another draft choice. That's kind of the way you do it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Skinny from Madison filling up at Quick Trip. Just saw me over there doing the advertisement on the gas pump. I don't really do an advertisement. I just do a quick take. It's a Quick Trip, quick take. That's it. 30 seconds, boom, in and out. How are we looking? Pump that gas. That's it. That's all I say. That's all I don't have any more to say. That's it. This portion of our program brought to you by our buddy Dwayne. Dwayne's Cover It All Boat Upholstery, boat covers, RV upholstery, awning over your patio. How about a canopy and everything out in front of your business? Dress that business up. Make it look professional, for God's sakes. Not all run down and craptastic. Get a hold of our buddy Dwayne. 715-870-2119. 715-870-2119. That is Dwayne's, D-U-A-N-E-S, Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. That is Dwayne'sCoverItAll.com. Good call from Dwayne in Oshkosh. One more calls, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. Van Schneiderich. I'm probably butchering the hell out of that. But for all you guys over there cutting grass and taking a listen to the program, we appreciate you so much. Appreciate you so much. Yes, we do. Hey, pouring you a beer. I wasn't going to give you the horn. Pouring you a beer. More than Go Michael show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome in. I got to remind you, the 19th annual Big Unit Poker Run benefiting Big Unit Foundation. And that money coming out of the poker run donated in support of Fisher House, Wisconsin, where they are building a new home, another one, second one in the state of Wisconsin. It's going to be built in Madison, Wisconsin, and the fundraising campaign is on now. We're going to try to do everything we can to help them. We've raised almost $300,000, maybe more than that, in the years that we've been operating, and we can't say thanks enough to all the bikers and all the people that support us and the people that donate. But here's what this is really cool this year, and we're obviously going to have a terrific event. We always do. But this year, you get pre-registered, and I encourage you to get pre-registered, because we get anywhere from 300 to 600 pre-registrations, okay? So you've got a really good opportunity, better than a lottery, that's for damn sure, of winning whatever it is we've been giving away. Last year, we gave away that beautiful autographed guitar. This year, we're giving away a pair of VIP tickets to an event on Thursday, September 10th. How would you like to win a pair of VIP tickets to Conversations for a Cause? It's another one of our events. It's a Big Unit Foundation Gala, but it's called Conversations for a Cause, our first ever to do this. We're going to sit down with Brewers manager Pat Murphy. And the VIP tickets not only get you dinner, it gets you dinner, get you a seat at the table, and you get a meet and greet with Pat Murphy. So that's what we're giving away this year. So get pre-registered. Now, there's two ways to do it. One, if you're watching us right now on the tube, you can just scan the QR code and you're in. It'll take you right to the Eventbrite page. Otherwise, go to eventbrite.com and search 19th Annual Big Unit Poker Run. And then you scroll down, it'll pop right up for you. And then you just go there and get registered. That's it. Once you're registered, your name goes in automatically. And then we are going to have one of our dignitaries that morning, draw the name of the winner, and you will win a pair of VIP tickets, compliments of the Bill Michaels Show. We're buying the tickets because I don't even get them for free. We're buying the tickets, complimentary VIP tickets to go meet Pat Murphy, manager of the Milwaukee Brewers. So a really cool deal, and just a little more incentive to join us at our annual family reunion. We've been doing this 19 years, and it grows every year. Last year, about 1,000 motorcycles, almost 1,600 people, and we had such a perfect day and a perfect event, and it was just flat out wonderful. So please come and join us. The 19th annual Big Unit Poker Run, supporting Big Unit Foundation and supporting Fisher House, Wisconsin, and get a shot at winning those VIP tickets to go have the meet and greet with Pat Murphy, Brewers manager. Good stuff. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Our buddy Steve says, happy hump day. I've been studying the draft for several sources, including our lads and various internet sources. I'd like to the perspective on a few fronts. I've seen some of the numbers and rumors regarding the Packers. They have some interest in the Penn State edge rusher, Danny Dennis Sutton. Our lad says he's a strong upper body, uses his hands well, good size, 6'6", 256. Could you see him being taken at 52? My answer there is no. I don't think so. I think it's either going to be a corner, nose tackle, or wideout. I would be surprised if they took the edge rusher there. In round 3, if Dominic Orange slides into the mid-70s, can you see Goody pulling the trigger and trading up to get him? Yes. If they don't get a nose tackle or a D front in that 52, yes, I could see that happening. Which of the 3 edge rushers would you like first? Arvell Reese, David Bailey, or Ruben Bain? By God, this stuff is so good. How we looking at Steve in Richfield? Man, that's a great question. That is a great question. I really like Arvell Reese, to be honest with you. He's kind of the dude that I'm liking the most. Just depends on when he's going to be there. You know what I mean? Just depends on when he's going to be there. That'd be the guy that I would probably take. That would be the guy that I would probably take. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. That's a good one. I
think most consensus boards have what is it, David Bailey?
Yeah,
what's
David
the name
Bailey.
of him? I keep wanting to confuse him with Ace Bailey, who's in the NBA draft. I think they have a lot of drafts have him coming second off the board.
Yeah, David.
A spot or two before Arvell Reese, and that's it.
Yeah, David Bailey, a kid out of Texas Tech. I mean, he ran a 4.5. And he's all that. I like Reese, but yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Ruben Bain, the kid out of Miami, I think is fantastic. He was an All-American last year, and he really, I mean, he had a big day going into the playoffs. He's like Robo Man too. If I'm not mistaken, he's the guy that wears all the gear. He's got elbow braces and knee braces and everything. He looks like a robot coming at you. Yeah. David Bailey and Bain are probably some of the top guys at rehab. Yeah, I don't know. You could probably talk me into any one of those guys, depending on how you want to use them, I guess. Yeah, boy, that's a great question. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. 877-867-1670. This one's from Camden. Camden says, hey, Unit, if you had to pick Albert Regis at Texas A&M or Bryson Eason, who would you go with? Bryson Eason, where does he play? He's a kid out of Tennessee, I think. Now, Eason is more of a nose tackle. So if you're going to go in that direction, he's a nose tackle. The thing the knock that was on Albert Regis was he might have been a little undersized at the defensive tackle position. Eason's a nose tackle. So if you're Goody, you're looking at Eason. You're not looking at Regis. And Regis is a smaller guy. I mean, I don't want to say that 6'1" is small, but he's a smaller dude. As to, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guys with longer arms, because not only can they push your body back, but they got paws to get up and make it difficult for a quarterback to throw over you. So if I was going to go with either of those guys, I'd probably go with Bryson Eason. And just for the fact that Goody's probably looking for a true nose tackle. So there you go. 877-867-1670. Let's do this. We'll take a break. Let's go inside the Fiserv Forum, shall we? Let's go inside the Fiserv Forum, right? Let's find out what's going on in the coaching search for the replacement of Doc Rivers. We'll get into that, and we'll talk with Jim Owczarski about everything coming up via the offseason for the Milwaukee Bucks. And because yesterday we were going to do it, Jim couldn't make it. He had some things going on. Today, he's making some time for us, and we appreciate that. So let's go inside and find out what's going on with the Milwaukee Bucks. This portion of the program brought to you by your hometown butcher. Oh, yeah. Best meat out there. You can win a T-shirt that says that, too. Best meat. That's our buddy Paul Roberts and Roberts Specialty Meats on Sunset Drive in Waukesha, whether it's the delicious Al Capone roasts, which I'm actually salivating for going through this fast thing. I'd like to make one today. Or how about the bacon-wrapped jalapeno poppers? Treat yourself and your neighbors and your friends. Or the ribs on a stick. All you got to do is throw them on a grill, and then all of a sudden people from around the neighborhood start showing up because it just smells so good. Or the garlic parm chicken skewers. They've got all the different sausages that they can make, the brats that they hand make, whether it's jalapeno brats, cheddar brats. They've got the Al Capone brats. They got so much good stuff. That is your hometown butcher, Roberts Specialty Meats on Sunset Drive in Waukesha.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Phil Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Phil Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
And we had me and ownership, we had a great meeting. They asked me what I wanted to do. One of the owners says, one plan is if we do this, you can hang in there for a year or two. And I literally said, oh, no.
Right.
No, I was a matter of fact. I told my coaches, I'm done. I love coaching. Loved it. I had a lot of success at it. I had some way more ups than downs, but at the end of the day, I've given 40 years. I just wanted a break. I wanted to get away. The grandkids and just life in general, man. I think it was time. So I'd be surprised if I coached another game. I'll put it that way.
The words of Doc Rivers. Be surprised if he coached another game. Hey, coming up out at Smoke on the Water, BBQ Okachi. Smoke on the Water, BBQ Okachi. They've got live music coming up this weekend. The Wingmen are going to be there. The best part about it is the deck is open. You can sit there as you watch all the greenery start to come in around the Okachi Lake area and just enjoy your fish fry or whatever it happens to be outside or whatever smoked stuff, brisket and barbecue and all kinds of good stuff they have out there. But the Wingmen are going to be appearing live there this coming week. They've got wings. They've got Mother's Day that's going to be they've got Mother's Day stuff that's going to be going on as well. So if you want to make some reservations for Mother's Day, you can. They've got a big brunch happening out there. That's Sloppy Joe's Saloon and Spoon. That's on Hubertus, but Smoke on the Water's got it all going on. Smoke on the Water BBQ Okachi. Check that out as well. And you can kind of set your Mother's Day plans all up regarding that. 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, you can. But Jim Owczarski joining us now on the hotline. Doc Rivers saying he's pretty much done coaching, and now the search is on. Jim, who is the front runner right now for the Bucs job, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think Taylor Jenkins, former Bucs assistant, former Memphis Grizzlies head coach, makes a lot of sense, checks a lot of boxes, independent of the future of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Bill, over at jsonline.com, right when Doc effectively told us he was retiring, he was out, that season finale in Philadelphia, Taylor was top of my list. It was a very short list. This is not like 2023, Bill, when Mike Budenholzer was fired and the Bucs kind of ran a nationwide coaching search at that time. I mean, that stretched into months. I think this is a little more directed with a guy like Jenkins. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. Obviously, more and more jobs are opening. Chicago just opened, so we'll see. But yeah, I think a guy like Jenkins is kind of top a list. And if they don't get him, I think it moves to maybe a first year type of guy, Bill, but not a Griffin type. I think a more, front of the room commanding presence. Let's put it that way.
So let's just say Darvin Ham completely off the board at this point then, right?
Look, I think not completely off the board because nothing's done, Bill. As we're speaking, there's no head coach in the Milwaukee Bucks. So I don't think completely off the board is the right phrase. But, I mean, it feels like, Jenkins is the one they're dialing in on. We'll use the parlance of our colleagues, Bill, focusing on dialing in on. Packers draft fans are going to hear this a lot, right? Packers are zeroing in on so-and-so at the number whatever pick. Yeah, let's call Jenkins that.
Okay, I can live with that. There was some rumors that there was some issues with some of the guys on this team or on this staff with management or ownership. Is that still something that's rumbling around, or now that everybody's gone their separate direction, those rumors or those feelings have kind of cooled down?
Yeah, I think, you guys played the cut of Doc Rivers, on the Bill Simmons podcast. And, there's some, as like with many things, there's some truth. There's maybe a little bit of exaggeration with the way and how Doc Rivers exited. But he's out. And to your question, Bill, I think with Doc Rivers being completely out of the picture of the Milwaukee Bucks orbit, John Horst it was fair, Bill. Like, they had a bad year, and you're talking about maybe trading Giannis Antetokounmpo. It was a fair question to wonder, is John Horst the right general manager for this? Mm-hmm. Right? Despite an extension a year ago, it's not like he signed like an 8-year extension or something. So to your point, I think it was the rumblings, concerns, questions, all kind of fair in that end of season moment. But now it feels like, things have settled down. John Horst is running this coaching search. And one way you know that, Bill, is you're not seeing leaks all over the place. The Bucks were not a leaky ship, Bill. You know this. Right. The Bucks were not a leaky ship until the last few years, and fans can connect whatever dots they want with that. But the fact that this has been a very quiet, pointed, intentional coaching search, I think speaks to the fact that they've empowered John Horst, at least to date, to do that. And, we'll see where that goes. But, I think, look, it's still fair to wonder about John Horst's leadership through all of these last few years. But at least for right now, Bill, it feels like he's the GM. He's sort of directing this search, and we'll see what happens from there.
So what do we look at now as far as the future of this team goes? We know they can spend some money. We know they've got things that they can trade and move around. I mean, obviously you want to get your coach in place, but then do you got two sides going. One is he's got to tell us he's going to sign the Supermax or we're going to trade him. And John is just saying, hey, it's not in my hands, it's in their hands. And in essence, he's somewhat right. But, at some point, there's got to be a meeting of the minds to say, okay, this is the direction we're going to go. At what point do you look at it and say, this is the direction we're going to go?
Yeah. So as I started, well, the coach is not wholly independent of Giannis. John Horst went on the record with us, Bill, at the end of April and said, well, it doesn't really matter. Like coach needs to present a plan. It doesn't really matter. It's true to a degree. I would argue that a veteran head coach, one who may have options, I think it's a signal. Like, let's say they name Joe Smith, 8-year NBA head coach, who may have 4 or 5 other opportunities, knowing that it's a total unknown with Giannis. Like, why would I walk into that situation? Mm-hmm. Right. Whereas a first-year head coach, it's 1 of 30. It's my first chance. It doesn't really matter, man. Like, right. So is it a signal? Does it mean Giannis is back? Let's say if Jenkins is hired. No. But I think it's a stronger signal that maybe ownership in this, now that everyone is separated, Now that everyone has gone, there's, cooler heads can prevail. Bill, you know this.
Yep.
Giannis likes to talk about these relationships and marriage, whatever you want, anecdote or analogy you want to do. Like, you get that separation. Okay, let's separate back here. And to that point, Giannis goes on Gordon Dragic' podcast and says, hey, man, I probably didn't handle that right. My bad, which is kind of a big deal because Giannis typically doesn't publicly apologize or, look back and say, man, I could have done that better. I think that was an olive branch to him. I think him telling us in Philly, Bill, yeah, if I'm on the team in October, you present this extension, probably going to sign it. Or at least, I think that's a public olive branch.
Right.
So, yeah, where it goes, I think when that decision needs to be made, Bill, I still think it's May 10th when the lottery, the ping pong balls start bouncing around. And look, man, if the Bucks are picking 10 to 12, how sexy is that pick? How good is that pick? We could argue, no, use it. Doesn't matter who you draft. This team needs useful, high-end talent, whatever that looks like. If they somehow get lucky and end up in the top 5, I think that changes some things. Maybe they still make the pick, Bill. VJ Edgecombe just won 30-10. The right rookie can help you win playoff games. So, what I mean by the lottery, though, is all these other teams are going, oh, now we know where we're picking. Oh, now we have the number whatever pick to float to the Bucks. You know what I mean? So I still think May is still the window there, Bill, of the team really being like, okay, where are we going with this? Because you're right. The coach is going to have to work with John Horst and say, all right, well, if I've got the big fella, we're going to look one way in this offseason. If we don't, we're redoing this whole thing. And you're totally changing your roster construction. Right. And you can't really be flying blind into that come June, Bill, because as you know this, you're working these deals, you're lining all this stuff up before free agency actually starts. So yeah, Bill, I think it's in these next couple weeks.
So when Giannis, I want to go back to that because you talked about it when he said, hey, I made a mistake. I should have come out and nipped it in the bud and said, hey, I'm staying in Milwaukee. What about this? Don't you understand? Shouldn't he be saying that now?
So, I'd argue he just did.
Okay.
Right. And now what's interesting, Bill, though, is that there's a context to all of this. He did address this on media day. He did address this in October. He did address this in December. And now I was on with you after all of those. And there was always that weird little caveat of, I might change my mind. Well, I might and you'll notice, Bill, that never happened after that. Like when I talked with him in February, there was no caveats or what ifs or maybes. It was a pretty definitive, I want to stay here. I want to retire here. I want to win here. But the open-ended question was, what are we doing? The team was bad. And I think he's tried to I think he's come to understand that messaging needs to be clearer, that it's not a Giannis thing, it's a Bucks thing. And what I mean by that, Bill, is if ownership is like, you know what, we're cool with the third lowest payroll in basketball now. We're cool with the Cole era 41, 42 wins. Let's just get in. Like, if they're cool with that, he's not.
Right.
And I think that's the difference. It's not, does a Giannis want to stay or go? He loves Milwaukee, Bill. He's made that clear. It's really, what are we doing as an organization? And that's the flip in the messaging for him is, it's not am I in or out? It's is the team in or out? And I think that's a fair ask. This year was terrible. Doc Rivers admitted, Bill, and some of these other, in his world tour, he was effectively retired going into the year. So you can't tell me that wasn't felt in that locker room the entire year.
Right.
So who was really in or out? The head coach or the star? Or the ownership group that was like, nah, this is cool, we're going to rock with this. So, yeah, Bill, it's still kind of messy, but I think a new head coach with a firm hand can really reset this going forward and tell Giannis what the plan is, what the goal is going forward. We don't know that yet, but who the head coach is can at least start us in the path to an answer.
Is there anybody else in that locker room talking? Is there anybody else saying, yeah, this is the way it was. This is what we thought. This is how we felt. Is there anybody else with quiet whispers going, hey, Jim, this was, this really sucked. This was really bad. This message fell short, whatever. Or just say the group of guys just never got along.
No, I think the guys got along. And Bill, I'll be honest. I mean, the diehards who read the Journal Sentinel every day or went to YouTube and listened to all these press conferences, heard Bobby Portis, Kyle Kuzma, Miles Turner say all of these things at various points. Bobby got to the point where he called it the dark cloud. And a lot of people assumed it was just the Giannis stuff, but I think it was all of it, Bill, of like, where are we headed? A dark cloud inherently means lack of clarity.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here? Where are we going? Miles Turner signed the biggest contract in franchise history, Bill. They waved and stretched Damian Lillard for this dude. And he's playing 24 minutes a game. And he's like, what? And he finally got to the point where he's like, I'm just doing what I'm asked to do. And and while that seems like a cliche or a lame statement, in the context, that guy saying, I'm just doing what I'm asked to do is a guy saying, well, I don't know. This is not what I signed here for. This is maybe not what I was pitched to do. And so Miles even said that in his season wrap interview, Bill. Again, JS Online, he talked about this. He's like, clarity and direction is needed going forward. So, yeah, Bill, Giannis obviously is the head of the snake. He's the one who talks the most. He's the attention getter, but all of these guys at various points, Bill, were like, we're kind of aimlessly floating here, and it had way more to do with just Giannis trade rumors.
Yeah. Jim, great stuff as always, and we're going to continue to touch base back. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we got a new coach coming up, and again, lottery in May. Bill, it's different. We're not talking playoffs.
Right.
There's a lot of Bucks news happening in the next couple months.
I know there's a lot of dates that we're kind of circling to say, okay, this is when things are going to maybe hopefully change in a positive direction. Jim, great stuff, and we're going to be communicating again real soon, okay?
All right, talk to you then, Bill.
Thanks, pal. There you go. That is good stuff from Jim Owczarski. Good stuff from Jim Owczarski. Speaking of good stuff, I had a friend of mine last night that texted me and said, hey, here at Calderon Club, what's the waiter's name? I said, it's Alex. She said, oh, that's right. We have Alex. They couldn't remember his name. He was their server last night. And she said, my God, is he good. He's so good and so nice and genuinely funny. And they had such a great experience. Calderon Club with the best the food is always fantastic. The food is just, that's what brings you in. But it's everything that goes along with it. It's the hospitality. It's the server. It's the authenticity. It's Gino walking around. It's his brother at times where Frankie's behind the bar and a lot of great staff that you see their faces and you're familiar with over and over and over again. 838 Old World 3rd Street, right across the street from the Hyatt Hotel. You know where it's at. San Giorgio, which is getting rave reviews throughout the Midwest now. San Giorgio Pizzeria Napolitana, one or the other or both. You got to try them. No doubt about it. Got to try them. If you're into Italian food, there is nothing better. Check it out. 838 Old World 3rd Street, right across the street from the Hyatt Hotel. Calderon Club on one side, San Giorgio Pizzeria Napolitana on the other.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back in. Great stuff from Jim Owczarski. That fast. We are 2 hours down, 2 hours yet to go. And we're off and running. Taking some draft questions today. If you got some NFL draft stuff, please get it to us. Don't forget Brewers coming back again tonight after getting a win last night in Detroit. You got Chad Patrick going to the Hill tonight against Mize, and that is a 540 get. 13-9 the Brewers are heading to the Hill this evening. So hopefully they can get themselves another win. Meanwhile, the Reds are still in Tampa taking on the Rays. They are 16-8 and leading the division. St. Louis already down to the Marlins 2-0, top of the fourth. So that's a day game that is in progress as we speak. Cubs tonight, they're hosting the Phillies, and Pittsburgh is on the road. They're taking on the Rangers. So there you go. That's your National League Central rundown. So again, we got 2 hours down. We got 2 hours yet to go. We're going to continue to talk about the NFL draft. If you got any questions, fire it off to us. I got some comments coming in on both some of the social media platforms and via text message. So if you want to text us 608-321-1670. If you want to follow us over there on Instagram and continue to make the meter behind me move, we'd appreciate it. Follow us, Bill Michaels Show. Bill Michaels Show over on Instagram, and I've got some questions over there. Steve has some questions. Also, Mina Mocker, I don't know. We'll try to get to some of that stuff too over there. We got a lot of stuff on Instagram to get to, a lot of text messages to get to, some Facebook comments to get to, and all of you over in the cheap seats, we want to talk to you as well. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. 2 more hours yet to go. We'll be back right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the NFL draft begins tomorrow night in Pittsburgh with the first round. Figures to be a quiet night for the Packers as they do not own a first-round pick thanks to the trade for Micah Parsons last year. It's a rarity for Green Bay, but GM Brian Gutekunst said picking later in the draft not something they aren't familiar with.
Yeah, certainly picking higher is always better, as far as, finding talent, but I'd rather pick 32 every year, and I think we always, and you guys know, all you got to do is look back at the draft. There's good players to be found throughout this draft. There's great players to be found throughout the draft. So I think it's something we've been pretty used to around here. So it's just, I think we're very accustomed to it.
Gutekunst added that he has no regrets about trading their first-round picks this year and next.
This was the first time entering a draft that I can remember that we didn't have a first-round pick. There's a couple that we traded out of, so that's been different. But like I said, I wouldn't. The player we got for that pick, I'm good with.
Again, the draft gets going tomorrow night. Packers currently slated to be on the clock with pick number 52 of the second round. Turning to Wisconsin, they've got several guys hoping to hear their names called over the 3-day event. Edge rusher Mason Reiger figures to be the first player off the board. Wide receiver Vinny Anthony and tight end Lance Mason, along with offensive lineman Riley Mullman, are among others that could get picked, likely on day 3. Meanwhile, the current Badgers back on the field tomorrow morning for practice number 11 of spring.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Well, the Brewers are in Detroit. It's where they're going to continue their series tonight against the Tigers. First pitch there is set for 5:40. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome back in. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Yeah. Beautiful Wednesday. Glad to have you on board. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Hopefully you're having a great day. There's a lot of questions coming in regarding the NFL draft about the Green Bay Packers and their place in it. Oh, by the way, I wanted to let you know, because I had some questions during the last hour that said, hey, we had mentioned yesterday there might be a foursome available because we wanted to make sure that one of the foursomes had dropped out of the Bill Michaels Open at Viroqua Hills. So I called out there and I said, hey, I want to let you know, which was really funny because I said, is the Bill Michaels Open sold out? And it was Caden, I think was the kid's name. And he said, oh, I think it's sold out. I'll just check. Do you have a foursome? And I said, no, this is Bill Michaels. He said, yeah, I know. It's the Bill Michaels Open. So, but do you have a foursome or two? I said, no, this is actually Bill Michaels. I'm calling. Oh, so he said, yeah, it is officially sold out. Like maybe if there was a single or something that was trying to squeeze in, that might be available. But beyond that, it is officially sold out. Just so you know. So we're all clear on that. It's officially sold out. Which, by the way, we got to say thanks to our friends at Swenson Doors, which is awesome that they came on board this year. So thanks to our friends at Swenson Doors. Thanks to our friends at Legal Guardian Services. Legal Guardian Services of Viroqua. And Caden Hansen family of Viroqua. The Cheese Corners Sub Shop from Viroqua. H.J. Martin Commercial Flooring. The Tree Assassin Tree Services. You got to see Tarzan there when you call them, because he's the guy that goes tree to tree swinging around. Schlicht Insurance. As a matter of fact, Viroqua Hills is calling me right now. I don't think they realize I'm on the air. I called him during a commercial break. AJ Family Homes and Properties. So if you're in Viroqua, you may want to call over there and just say, hey, Bill's on the air. And you're calling him while he's on the air, just to let you know. AJ Family Homes and Properties, Viroqua Tire Shop. Also, our friends over there at the Sleepy Hollow Chevy, Buick, Chrysler, and Ford. WCCU Credit Union, that's in Westby and Viroqua. And Effinger Equipment Sales. Effinger Equipment Sales and Service in Viroqua. So there you go. Everybody. Thanks to everybody for helping us out and raising money for Big Unit Foundation, and to all the golfers that we're going to see there coming up in a couple of weeks, which is actually, if I'm not mistaken, it is 2 weeks. We'll be in town 2 weeks from tomorrow night. Our show live there on Friday at Viroqua Hills Golf Course is 2 weeks from Friday. And then 2 weeks from Saturday is the third annual Bill Michaels Open. So we're excited about all of that stuff. Appreciate it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You can text us 608-321-1670, 608-321-1670. Track us down as well via email, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. Also, thebillmichaels.com. That's the website. We are on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels. You can find Grant Bills at Wisco Sports. At Wisco Sports. You can find him over there as well, which is always a popular place. Or actually, Wisco Grant, not at Wisco Sports, at Wisco Grant. I'm an idiot. At Wisco Grant. Wisco Sports Zone is our app. That's our app. Follow us over on Instagram, and as you can hear behind me, the meter is moving now. So when you follow us, it adds to the tote board, and you can hear it, you can see it. But we appreciate it when you follow us over there. And that's simply Bill Michaels Show over on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok the same. We're on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well. Catch the television show, 8 o'clock Central Time, Saturday night. My 24 TV, that's in Milwaukee. My 24 TV in Milwaukee. Great stuff. Steve says, over off of Instagram, said, how much of a smokescreen is Goody using in these top 30 visits? From who visited, it looks like idle and not corner, and edge and corner can be blowing smoke, ? Yes. Now, there's players you like that maybe you want to bring them in later, that type of thing, and see if they're that type of material, or if you want to actually kind of verify their analytics and maybe the possibility of trading up to get somebody like that. But yeah, Ted Thompson was a master at bring a guy in, let's get to know him. Let's see. You can bring guys in, what the hell? And yes, he was the master of, I will bring somebody in and then send them out and not talk about them, or I know what I want. I'm not talking to or talking about this guy at all. So nobody else takes an interest in him. And sometimes it's what Ted didn't say spoke the loudest. I keep saying that. Sometimes what you don't hear speaks the loudest. So yeah, it's all, look, at this point in time, it is all gamesmanship out of general managers. Everybody knows what each team needs, right? Everybody knows that. So you know what you need. So general managers are either saying, yeah, like Goody, we need to add to the cornerback room. We're going to look at some corners and we know what we need. And everybody knows, though, that you need corners. It's not a secret. We knew it going into the offseason. Like, yeah, you got to get some better corners. When you got Carrington Valentine now twice being a highlight reel, just being thrown to the ground because he just has no interest in being a tackler or a hitter or playing actual football. Yeah, you got to find corners. Yeah, okay. Duh. Every general manager in the league, every scout in the league knows that. There's some other things that you may or may not know. Maybe they're not happy with such and such. Maybe they're a little skeptical about Jordan Morgan playing left tackle, or maybe the return and the healthy return of a Zach Tom. Maybe you can look at something like that and say, okay, maybe I'll go for a right tackle. Maybe something like that surprises you, but everybody knows what every team needs. That's the reason the draft guides are so big. Jason says, I heard you say earlier you were studying for the draft. Why would anybody study for the draft? Well, for one, we do a talk show. So you got to know about some of these guys that are being drafted, or at least in the top 2 or 3 rounds. After that, it kind of comes down to scouts into the minutiae, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you still got to study it. You got to know it. It's, it's a whole new crop of names. Some of them you may not be familiar with at all. So yeah, you got to study for that. Now, people other than me that are just, regular, day laborers, so to speak. I mean, some people are really into it. Some people have draft parties and they make picks and they give out trophies like fantasy leagues do. Some people are just into the NFL and they study it top to bottom. Then not only can they say, that's the guy I wanted and he's coming here and this is great, or they can say, that's not the guy I wanted. And when that guy that they actually chose doesn't pan out, they can say, this is the guy I wanted and he panned out for such and such team, which seems to be the finger pointers, and those come out of the woodwork. We all know that. So, but yeah, there's a lot of reasons to study the draft. We study it for our reasons because it's what we do for a living. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. What else do I have here? The 3-4 defense, not a good idea given the Packers' current roster. The draft notwithstanding, putting Parsons on the edge in a 3-4 is wasting his talent and making it easier to double team him. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't necessarily say that because you're still going to. I don't think they're going to run a straight 3-4. I don't think so. I think Jonathan Gannon has proven when he was with Philadelphia, he had the beasts up front to do it and just run it straight and call it a day. I don't think you're going to do that. I think you're going to see a mix of stuff. And I think that's the reason he got the job. Much like at times, they didn't run a straight 4-3 either. With the Packers, they didn't run a 4-3. They ran a mix of stuff. So they ran a 4-2-5, at times. They're just in which they could even run now. So I don't think saying it's a 3-4. Somebody's got to write it down. Like, what do you play? Okay, a base 3-4. Okay, great. But I think that's going to be few and far between. And, you want to play Parsons as much as you can, but you don't necessarily need to wear his ass out. There's going to be times he's going to come off the field in certain situations. And he did in Jeff Hafley's defense. So I don't think you have to you got to call it a 3-4, but I don't think you have to call it. That's what you're going to do. I think what they are looking for is a true nose tackle for this. But I think we're putting too much emphasis on that, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Yeah, right. Wisco family says, sure be nice if somebody could actually ask Gannon about his defense. We are not worthy to know what's going on or what he's going to do, apparently. I'll let that statement stand on its own. I'll let that statement stand on its own.
You think there's anyone up in Green Bay listening?
I think they are. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Grant's trying to knock on the door a little bit to say, hey, is anybody listening? I agree. You know what I can't get over? Out of all of the, Goody sitting at the combine and Goody having his presser yesterday, nobody asked him why we have not heard from any of the coaches. Why did they not have a presser? Nobody thought to ask that because you're so draft centric. I'm not faulting anybody. Nobody asked that question. Like, why have you not brought Jonathan Gannon to the microphone? And maybe it's all subterfuge, but it's horse blank that he has not spoken. It really is. Maybe it's they didn't have the media auditorium. Maybe they didn't have a way to do it or something. Who knows? Which you can always set something up in one of the ballrooms upstairs. I mean, we've done that before when things were being worked on at Lambeau Field. That would be an excuse, but I don't know why. I don't know why they have not brought Jonathan Gannon to the microphone. That's crazy to me. Crazy to me. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, do it. Again, 877-867-1670. Find us. But yeah, I agree. I can't. Wisco, I don't know why that has not taken place. Cheddarball says, why do we even need to hear from them? To reveal nothing of relevance? Cheddarballs, you shouldn't listen to a presser at all because your head's so far crammed up your ass, I have no idea what you listen to. You get a lot out of it if you just listen. You sit there with your arms folded going, they're not saying anything. They're not saying what I want them to hear. That's not it at all. We got a lot out of that presser the other day.
I'm gonna go find a statement from Jeff Hafley's introductory press conference 2 years ago. Okay, you a couple minutes. I'll dig that up and I'll play it for you, and then you can ask why we would need to be introduced to a coach. Ask that question again.
You for a coach, you get, and this is a great example. Couple of things. One is you get a sense of his personality. Who's going to be guiding these guys? Do you like him or do you not? First and foremost, you get a sense of his personality, maybe a sense of humor, maybe the way he answers questions. Is he combative? Is he not combative? Is he going to be part of Red China or not? Because Jeff Hafley was pretty open about a lot of things. He was pretty transparent about a lot of things. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, they do give you glimpses. And again, sometimes it's not what's said. And if you listen just to hear of what he is saying, then you're not paying attention. You got to listen to it all. And the word is listen. A lot of you don't listen and to hear everything and kind of absorb it all. You listen to react. Wow, that's stupid. And you finger point. And that's your fault. That's your personality. That's who you are. And that also leaves you with a very, very closed mind. That's it. And here's the thing. The majority of Packers fans, they want to hear from the guy. This is the guy that's going to be leading your defense. This is the guy that's going to be calling your plays. This is the guy that's going to be utilizing the talent, what you do have, what you don't have. And the other question is, here's the other question. How are you going to right now look at this secondary? How do you look at this secondary? Are you going to play more zone because you can't play press man because you don't have the bodies to do it right now? What about the evolution of a guy like Evan Williams? How do you want to use Javon Bullard? You like him as a hitter. Carrington Valentine's been a highlight reel as a ragdoll the last couple of years. What do you think of his play? Then you listen for what's not said. You know, does he like to play physical? If he does, well, then you know Carrington Valentine's on the way out because he's not a physical dude. He's just a dude running around out there, hoping to make a play. Pete says, as a team owned by the fans, I love hearing the press conferences from the coaches and et cetera. In the 80s, some of the coaches had coaching shows on the radio for an hour where they would take phone calls. That was awesome. It's a shame that the Packers don't take advantage of more of that relationship with the fans/owners. Pete, you the man. Love it. Love it. Let's take a quick break and come back. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more coming up right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. It looks like you have some fancy new locations around Madison.
Yes, sir. We have a new store in Madison on the corner of East Washington and Hagen Drive. We're also open in Beloit and coming soon to Janesville and Beaver Dam. But the best part is saving the drive altogether and applying from the comfort of your couch at don'tbebroke.com.
I kind of like stopping by.
Good call, and it's really worth the drive. We've been processing our $5,000 short-term loans over 28 years, and our customers just love doing business with the DLC. In nearly every instance, we're around half the cost of the payday and title lenders.
Dollar Loan Center loves Madison and lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by Beloit or Madison now, or soon in Janesville and Beaver Dam. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed and regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
It comes down to can you take your players who you have and put them in the best position to succeed? And can you take your players and maximize their ability? Like every player wants to get better, and that's our job to do. Our job is to put the players in the best position to succeed and make plays. And that's through scheme, right? People can say that a lot of the scheme is simpler, but it's very detailed. We try to make it simple for the players so they can play fast, so they don't have to think, so they can be confident and not be afraid to make mistakes. So I can get them the information, we can get them the information that they need so they can go out there and be fearless and play with their hair on fire and just run and hit and cover and get off blocks and tackle. I mean, that's the beauty of the scheme. And we got guys that can press. Let's line up and get our hands on people. I mean, I think that's really important. You get a guy who can play his zone third, who can read 2-to-1. Let's do it and go get the ball. I mean, I've been around like Richard Sherman, who was as good at anybody to ever play the game at that. And then I've been around some of the best press corners that have ever played the game. Guys like Darrelle Revis and a lot of really good guys. So, you know, as we really piece this together, and I'm sure you know right now, and we're watching it, we're putting it together as a staff. But those core beliefs aren't going to change. That's how we're going to play. And our players should be excited about that. And I'm excited about that as a coach.
You got a sense of what Jeff Hafley was, of what he wanted. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. That's Jeff Hafley during his introductory press conference. And you got a sense of what he wanted to do. Now, here's the thing. He wanted to play more press. He wanted to utilize that scheme more and just say, basically, here's your guy, go get him. That's what his philosophy coming in was. The reality then became, yeah, we don't got the guys to do that. So he sat back, had to play more zone because they didn't have guys to press on the outside. They didn't have that. So your introductory press conference was, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to play. But as time went on, he then backed off of that and said, look, this is what I want to do. But then it's what he didn't say. He didn't say, oh, by the way, we don't have the guys to do that. Here's philosophically, this is the way we'd like to play. Scheme it down, hair on fire, get it simple. Here's your guy, go get him. Here's your zone, go get him. But then, as we know, it kind of became like, yeah, we don't have necessarily the defensive backs to be able to do that. Now, Evan Williams certainly emerged. Zane Anderson certainly emerged. Javon Buller certainly emerged. But Keyshawn Nixon, who went from being kind of a slot cover guy and wanted to be the CB1 on the outside, really wasn't able to do that. And then certainly Carrington Valentine, he can cover at times, and then at times he doesn't. And he's not a hitter. And they weren't able to do it. But that gives you the idea of what it is they're looking for and what it is they're looking to do when you talk to these guys. So it does give you a sense of their personality and kind of what's going to go on behind closed doors and what they're looking at. But what you didn't hear him say was, yeah, I want to do all of this. I'd love to get this. I'd love to do that. But he didn't say, yeah, we don't have the people to do that. I can't see that in these guys. 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up? Jedi, by the way, is back.
There's nothing like the view from the cheap seats.
Welcome back into Jedi, hitting up the cheap seats. And everybody over there on the live stream today, you certainly appreciate you hanging out with us. And everybody over there on Instagram and TikTok and all that kind of good stuff. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Find us. This is from Dale. Dale says, hey, guys, a great point about the defensive coordinator. I would just love to hear from him. And let's be honest, this is the people's team, and the people would like to hear. Do they not listen at 1265? Seems like Ed Policy doesn't want to talk to anybody and doesn't want his coaches talking to anybody. This is getting a bad rap already, and the transfer is less than 1 year old. That is from Dale. Dale, appreciate the email. I don't know if that's Ed Policy's call or not, to be perfectly honest with you.
You know, I'll ask you this about the lack of a Jonathan Gannon press conference. Don't you think the perception, you would probably know better than anyone else, Bill, about the way the state views the Packers and how they feel about the Packers. Don't you think a real strong press conference from Jonathan Gannon could go?
Oh, God.
You know, like, doesn't Packers fandom need a little shot in the arm right now?
Yep. God, yes.
So Jonathan Gannon comes out and everyone goes, oh, they hired a good coach. I don't know. Yep. that would seem like a real nice PR move for the Packers right now. Just think of what everyone was saying again when we heard Jeff Hafley for the first time.
Yep. Now, here's the thing that I'm kind of thinking about. Do you think, and this is where I've been kind of saying, okay, they may not talk before, but maybe once they put all these pieces in place and the draft is over, maybe then a Jonathan Gannon press conference comes out to say, hey, it's great to be here. You know, yeah, we've got all these new pieces. I've been working closely with, Goody and Matt on trying to find the right talent. And, this is a guy that we can use here. This is a guy we feel we can use here. This is how we want to run our defense. We're excited about the progress of Micah. All that stuff then comes out, and there's a lot of positivity then going into the offseason because, you're going to be coming into your OTAs, your voluntary mini camps. You got your rookie mini camp coming up, and then your volunteer. And at some point, he's got to speak. So my sense is maybe that's what they're saving it for. I don't like the fact that they're saving it, but I could understand it a little bit, I guess. But at some point here, you got to talk about the new pieces that this defense, this reconstructed defense, or this additional depth defense, or whatever you want to call it, it's going to be, debuted, sooner rather than later. You want to hear the guy that's going to be the chef of the defense to talk about the new ingredients that he just got.
No, I sorry to be maybe a little selfish here as a radio host and producer. I want the audio, I want the content,
God, yeah.
But also I want to hear from him in both instances. Yep. When you hire a new chef at the restaurant, I want to learn about the chef.
Yes.
And then weeks later, when you change up the specials, then we can hear from the chef again about that stuff.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So if we're waiting to hear from Jonathan Gannon until players are there and practice are underway, well, okay, sure, but we should be hearing from him then anyways, because he's there coaching these guys.
I know we will not hear from him until after the draft. Now, we all know that. I just wonder how soon after the draft. I wonder how soon after the draft that he's actually going to make an appearance, that they're going to take him to the podium. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. That I would love to hear from Jonathan Gannon, and I don't know why we haven't. And I would love to have an explanation, and nobody thought to ask that of Brian Gutekunst. Nobody at all. And I don't know if that's just a touchy subject, like they're not allowed or what, but nobody asked that question. Why have we not heard from the defensive coordinator? Where's he at? Is he did you really hire him, or is he still mulling it over? We'd love to know. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. I want to hear from you. You can text us 608-321-1670. Nick, listening to us in Green Bay. Nick, welcome to the program, man. How you doing? Nick?
Doing good, Bill. How about yourself?
Good. Go ahead.
So I don't mind not hearing from Gannon. It makes me think, at least I'd like to believe, that he's got his nose to the ground and that he's working hard to try and keep our defense going good. So if he doesn't want to get in front of the camera and speak to us, as long as he's doing the job, I'm a happy man.
I get it. I mean, as long as they get the job done and they end up in the postseason, I think we're all happy about that. I would completely agree. I just would love to know, with all the speculation about what it is they're going to run, because the only guy that's talked about the defense, I appreciate the phone call, I got to run here, but the only guy that's talked about the defense and what facet it is they may or may not display has been Gutekunst. He's talked about that a little bit, and he has not pigeonholed this defense into a 3-4 or 4-3 or anything like that. He talked about different things that they liked about Jonathan Gannon and his usage of talent and how he puts kind of the best 11 on the field for the situation at hand. But I'd love to hear from Jonathan Gannon. I'd love to hear him say that, and I'd love to hear get his philosophy on that. I think that's kind of what everybody is somewhat complaining about. Hey, the one thing you cannot complain about, it is the fact that it is beautiful in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. It's just this hidden gem. And the gem that is in the middle of Elkhart Lake comes to life here in the month of May. The spring vintage weekend is almost upon us. Then the Superbikes come a-calling, and that's a fantastic weekend. Knock on wood, they got good weather. Then you get to the June sprints, and then IndyCar, it's here, and then you're off and running after that, pardon the pun. But you got a lot of great stuff. You got Trans Am weekend, IMSA weekend, GT World Challenge weekend, Art on Wheels, so much good stuff, all coming to that national park with a road track right in the middle of it. That is Road America. Go to roadamerica.com for everything. Season passes, corporate sponsorships, on-site camping. If you just want to get a part of the hospitality, do it. That's our friends at Road America. 800-365-7223. Call our buddy John. 800-365-7223. 800-365-7223. Or just go to roadamerica.com to see everything they offer. Even some of the classes, you can go up there and you can run the track, you can bicycle the track, you can even drive the track. How about that? They got a driving school there. Check it out. roadamerica.com. That is roadamerica.com. Road America, your national park of speed.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Chuck, what happens if someone applied before and was denied?
Craig, I love this question, and the answer is simple. If you were denied in the past and still looking for a loan, before you go somewhere else and pay way too much, give us another shot. Everyone's situation changes. You may have a cosigner, a new job, a raise, who knows, but we're going to try to help.
I'm telling you, it seems like my credit score goes up and down each month.
Great point. We don't use a traditional credit score at the DLC, and you don't need great credit or collateral. We can also help you consolidate those expensive payday and title loans because we lend way more and charge way less.
Dollar Loan Center loves Madison and lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by a nearby location, apply over the phone, or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed and regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Hey, I want to remind you, our good friends at Suburban Harley Davidson, they want to get you into the wind. 2 wheels, baby. That way you can join us on Sunday, September 6th for the 19th annual Big Unit Poker Run. So if you don't know how to ride, they've got classes. If you need a bike, they got bikes. New bikes, used bikes, bikes coming in every day. Every day. Huge inventory. Say you need motor clothes. Maybe, you need some jeans, or you need a jacket, or you need a helmet, or whatever it happens to be, or you just want tchotchkes around the house. That is our friends at Suburban Harley Davidson, and they have the best parts department, really knowledgeable staff. They've been there for years. Unlike a lot of other dealerships where they keep rotating people, this place has got they've held on to their employees for a long, long time. They've been really, really good about it. 50 plus years in business, Suburban Harley's been. And they've got a high-speed dyno there. They've got some guys that can actually work on the vintage bikes that are there. They know their stuff, and that's the reason they've been in business for over 50 years, same location. That's Suburban Harley Davidson on Main Street in Thiensville, and that is the landing spot for this year's 19th annual Big Unit Poker Run, benefiting Fisher House, Wisconsin, in support of our friends over there and Big Unit Foundation. So go to suburbanharley.com, suburbanharley.com, and then I encourage you, get registered. If you haven't done so already, get pre-registered. Don't wait. Do it now. Sign your paperwork. Get it all done. And also, you are then automatically registered to win a pair of tickets, VIP tickets, for what we're giving away the day of the motorcycle ride, for that then September 10th, that Thursday, for the Big Unit Foundation's gala, which is Conversations for a Cause. Our guest speaker and our guest interview is going to be Pat Murphy, and the VIP tickets will get you into that meet and greet. So please, please, please get registered. Check out Suburban Harley Davidson. Get registered for the ride. And then you could possibly also be with us that Thursday night, sitting at one of our tables and enjoying the company of Pat Murphy for a little bit and then listening to some of the things that he has to say. It's just a great, great package. So by all means, go ahead and do so. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Let's see here. Let's go. What? Wait. What happened at Jerry's press conference today, Grant?
I was wondering what you're reacting to.
What
Bill Clinton showed up.
Shut up.
Because Bill, you know who's really popular and thought of highly above the American people right now?
Aren't they Arkansas buddies?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I just, politics aside, I'd be like, Jerry, you know who's not really who's not killing it, PR wise right now? It's creepy old Bill Clinton.
Right.
Maybe, is there another president?
Right.
Or literally anyone else? Maybe we could. Yeah, I'll send you the video. Oh my God.
Okay. That struck me. That Bill Clinton and Jerry Jones together. I mean, that is any ventriloquist impersonator's dream right there. I don't care who you are. Secondly, I got to go over to the live stream and our people on the cheap seats.
There's nothing like the view.
Okay, hold on. Buckshot Bobby. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. He said the Bill Michaels Show live from the Testicle Festival in Kaukauna. Excuse me, what? Did you see that, Grant?
No, but now I got to Google that.
The Testicle Festival in Kaukauna. Okay, now I know Rocky Mountain oysters. Wouldn't eat them if you paid me. But is this a real thing? Is there a testicle festival in Kaukauna? Or is this just a whole?
Not that I can find.
Okay, not that I can find. Okay, I'm just like, there's no way. Nobody would label it that. I'm just part of me is mortified. The other part of me aches. But yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Between what you sent me, that Bill Clinton showing up to Jerry Jones' press conference, and Testicle Festival in Kaukauna, I'm like, I don't even know what to say anymore. The show just completely screeched to a halt. So he said it's actually real. It's a real thing. Okay. Well, okay. First of all, unless X-Tech comes out with a cup, I don't think we're doing the Testicle Festival. Just so you know. I don't care. I know. Because somebody's going to come over to us eventually and they're going to go, hey, you really should try this. And I'm going to be like, no, I really shouldn't. No, I'm not. Can't do it. No. As a dude, no. Not going to happen. Just so you know.
Circling back to the Testicle Fest, what is it? The Testicle
Festival.
If you have a minute, Blake in Little Shoot is here. He can explain this. I guess it is a real thing. Can you take the call quick?
Oh, my God. Okay. Let's go to Blake. Blake, what the hell is a Testicle Festival, dude?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Oh,
I actually bartended at the place that it hosted, Rocky and Taylor's Nut House in Dundas.
Oh, my God.
Bar just outside of Kaukauna.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. So what the hell is it all about? People, I can't even imagine. I want to guess at this point. You just tell me what it's all about.
I mean, it was just a big drinking festival, live music, deep fried, both testicles. So,
oh my God,
a lot of fun.
Well, I guess you'd have to get absolutely hammered to be able to eat that stuff. So maybe that's the reason it goes hand in hand with a drinking festival.
Yeah, maybe. Some people are sober enough.
All right, man. Thanks for the update. Appreciate it. How would you like to be known as the bartender at the Testicle Festival?
Hey, they're a delicacy.
You know, I'm sorry. I'm no. No, I just can't. Oh my God. Jan says, did you see they have a new nut pouch on Shinesty underwear for men? No, I did. There's some things you shouldn't be talking about. Yeah, NMA Freak says, Rocky and Tara's Nut House hosts the event every year. Then there's the lots of the Rocky Mountain oysters. No. I could see like something like that happening at Nuts Deep too over there in Marshfield as well.
There you go.
It's just, Wisconsin family says, what about a bouncy house for the kids? Of course, yeah. Oh my God, I'm getting all kinds of stuff now. Banana hammock comments and everything. I just no. Stop. You people are killing me. Deep fried nuts on a stick. Nuts next to your banana split. Okay, that's a visual I didn't need. Okay. Sometimes I love our friends over there in the cheap seats. I really do. I love our friends in the cheap seats. I really do. But what happens is during a commercial break, they get into their own world. And sometimes you come back and I'll run downstairs or something real quick, or I'll just go get a glass of water and I'll come back and I'll look and I'm like, what am I missing? It like went off the rails during the commercial break. And we go from Jonathan Gannon speaking and what type of defense he's going to run to, hey, we should really do the show at the Testicle Festival. How does that even correlate? It just goes crazy. They have deep fried powdered sugar squirrel nuts. Not happening. I'm not going there. I don't need a bunch of high-pitched screaming squirrels running around the neighborhood. Ain't happening. Won't do it. Oh, God. That is hilarious. The Testicle Festival on Sunday is real. Okay. In Dundas. All right, let's get back to some sanity, hopefully. Eric, listening to us in Madison. Eric, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Hey, Bill. How are you today?
I'm good, and I'm kind of crossing my legs now.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite sure how to follow all this.
Right.
So I'll just get to the point. Do you see the Packers actually signing a couple of veteran corners? Because I'll be honest with you, drafting corners in Green Bay doesn't seem to mix.
Yeah.
Honestly, who's the last corner we drafted that was actually successful? Jair Alexander, maybe?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
I can't think of any sense. So, I don't know. Are you of the opinion that the stronger the front seven, the better your corners end up?
Yes. So I do believe in that.
I'm thinking maybe draft a few defense linemen high and other. Well, we already have that veteran tackle from the Vikings,
Hargrave.
So I mean, draft a couple of guys high. But I'm thinking, I don't know. What do you think? Is there any? You hearing anything about signing any veteran corners, or maybe two, and kind of skipping the draft and just sticking with the interior line?
I think what I think they're going to do is they're going to probably draft a corner or two, and then after the June 1st cuts happen, I think you may see another guy or two brought in. To be perfectly honest with you, I appreciate the phone call. Here, let's go through this real quick. So the first pick for Goody was Jair. And Jair had a good time in Green Bay. Not great, obviously, the knee issue. But let me give you the list of guys. Jair Alexander, Josh Jackson, Kadar Holman.
They haven't drafted many.
Tariq Carpenter, Anthony Johnson, Carrington Valentine, Kalen King, Evan Williams. Evan Williams turned out to be good. Javon Bullard. Bullard's pretty good. And Micah Robinson. That's your secondary that's been drafted by Goody.
Well, and most of those corners were 7th rounders. After Stokes in 2021, I don't think they've taken a corner outside of the 6th or 7th round.
Jair was a first, and
Jackson was a second. I know that.
Stokes was a first. And after that, the majority of people are down the list.
Now the safeties have been higher. Like Bullard was a second, Williams was I think a third or a fourth.
Yeah.
But they guys, it's not like they've drafted a ton of corners high and whiffed. They haven't really paid any attention to that position.
Right. That just has not been an emphasis. I mean, you even go back, Kevin King. Ted was here. Kevin King. Boy, he didn't draft many corners at all. Quentin Rollins. He was the 2nd round draft choice. Clinton Dix. He turned out to be pretty good, but he was a 1st round draft choice too.
Demarius Randall was in that same draft with Rollins.
Dimitri Goodson. Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde was not bad. I mean, none of these guys were, Casey Hayward. None of these guys were like dominant. Jerron McMillan. They just have not. Secondary has not been a we're really good in that area type of area. Morgan Burnett was pretty good. I'm just going through my draft list. I got it all sitting here. Brandon Underwood, Pat Lee, and he was the same one with Brian Brahm. Jordy Nelson came out of that draft though. That was, and Jermichael Finley did too. That was a good draft. I think Josh Sitton did too, if I'm not mistaken. But I just go back. Aaron Rouse. It's just they've never really, and that goes back years. They've never really hit on a big time pass defender. Just haven't done that, man.
I mean, Jair was awesome. He was an all-pro, and then he just couldn't stay healthy.
Right.
So I'll always defend the Jair pick because people talk about him now like, hey, he was fine. No, he was an all-pro corner. He just then couldn't stay healthy a couple years into his career.
He had a good year. The year that Mike Carroll. Oh, come on, dog. The year that he went and said, I want to be the one, give him to me, and it was Justin Jefferson year after they got humiliated in the opener over there in US Bank Stadium. Then they turned him loose. And after that, he was great. Once Joe Barry said, okay, let's do that, and they opened it up, he was really good. And he just was on his own island and said, here you go get him. And that was when he was at his best. But yeah, he was always banged up. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. We would love to hear from you. Hey, our friends over there, MIBA, M-I-B-A, MIBA Industrial Bearings. They are right there in Grafton, Wisconsin, but hiring all over the country. Kansas, Texas, you name it, whatever city you happen to be living in, they might have something near you. They need CNC machinists. They need good IT people and everything in between. They pay well. They've got great benefits, 401k. And they're hiring because they're doubling their business over the next 4 years. 262-337-2210, doesn't matter where you're at, or upload your resume to Indeed, and search out MIBA, M-I-B-A, MIBA Industrial Bearings. They're located in Grafton, Wisconsin, and our buddy Brad over there, he's the guy that does all the hiring. He's the guy to get a hold of. Again, 262-337-2210, or search them on Indeed, MIBA, M-I-B-A. MIBA Industrial Bearings, growing stronger together.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome to the Michael Show. Hopefully you're enjoying your day. Appreciate you being here. Talking about some of the guys in the secondary that were drafted here by the Packers. Yeah, Micah Hyde was, they let him leave in free agency, and he made more money. He ended up having a pretty good career with Buffalo. He was good. Look, you're right. I mean, they just have not had, first of all, they have not had a high-end draft choice in the corner position. And when you're always drafting 20, you're trying to draft whatever that specific need is at the time. But yeah, it would not surprise me if they ended up drafting a couple and then going back when guys get cut on June 1st and some of these guys get released. Maybe they bring in a guy or two. I think you need just a couple, two or three, and then just let them battle it out for positions and then cut guys that don't make the team. I mean, it's that simple. I'd rather have too many and let them all battle it out and just keep the best than not enough and you're trying to piecemeal things together in the secondary because, that seems to be partially the Achilles heel right now. You just this year's all about bolstering that defense. That's just what it is. Simple. More of the Bill Michaels Show. Another hour yet to go. We'll be right back.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the NFL draft begins tomorrow night in Pittsburgh with the first round. Figures to be a quiet night for the Packers as they do not own a first-round pick thanks to the trade for Micah Parsons last year. It's a rarity for Green Bay, but GM Brian Gutekunst said picking later in the draft, not something they aren't familiar with.
Yeah, certainly picking higher is always better, as far as, finding talent, but I'd rather pick 32 every year, and I think we always, and you guys know, you like it is look back at the drafts. There's good players to be found throughout this draft. There's great players to be found throughout the draft. So I think it's something we've been pretty used to around here. So it's just, I think we're very accustomed to it.
Gutekunst added that he has no regrets about trading their first-round picks this year and next.
This was the first time entering a draft that I can remember that we didn't have a first-round pick. There's a couple that we traded out of, so that's been different. But like I said, I wouldn't. The player we got for that pick, I'm good with.
Again, the draft gets going tomorrow night. Packers currently slated to be on the clock with pick number 52 of the second round. Turning to Wisconsin, they've got several guys hoping to hear their names called over the 3-day event. Edge rusher Mason Reiger figures to be the first player off the board. Wide receiver Vinny Anthony and tight end Lance Mason, along with offensive lineman Riley Mullman, are among others that could get picked, likely on day 3. Meanwhile, the current Badgers back on the field tomorrow morning for practice number 11 of spring.
Hey, better, swing into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee for the $300,000 Big League Series. Just play with your rewards card over 3 months to earn entries. Here's the lineup. Leading off April, on deck May, in the hole June. All monthly entries you earn will roll into drawings on Friday, June 26th, where you could win cash, free play, or one of 3 new Toyota vehicles. It's the $300,000 Big League Series, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Well, the Brewers are in Detroit. It's where they're going to continue their series tonight against the Tigers. First pitch there is set for 5:40. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome in. Bill Michaels Show. Bill Michaels Show on the air. Another hour yet to go. That's okay. We're good. Got a lot more to get to. Got some Brewers stuff coming up here momentarily. Some news today, in case you did not know. You want to get a hold of us, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Find us. You can always let your voice be heard in that sense. You can always text us, 608-321-1670. We're on YouTube. Subscribe for free. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. YouTube.com/Bill Michaels Show. We're on Twitter, on X, @Bill_Michaels, MICHAELS, @Wisco Grant as well. Wisco's Sports Zone is our app. And the Bill Michaels @gmail.com is the email. TheBillMichaels.com is the website. And if you want to watch us and follow us and pay attention to us and follow us on Instagram, it's simply Bill Michaels Show. Bill Michaels Show over on Instagram. And you make the meter move. We appreciate that. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok under the same names. The Twitch app, the Kick app, and the LinkedIn app as well. Our television show airs Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time on My 24 TV. That is My 24 TV in Milwaukee. Some good news coming out of the Brewers organization today. The righty Quinn Priester, he is scheduled to begin his rehab assignment today at AAA Nashville as the Sounds visit the Charlotte White Sox later on tonight. So Quinn Priester, keep an eye on him as he continues to strive to come back and add to the Brewers rotation. You're still waiting on Jackson Chourio, who's starting to take a few rips and get some workouts in. So that'd be good news as you start to get a couple of these guys back. Vaughn is probably still, at least my guess is probably 3 weeks to another 4 weeks away, coming off of that hand surgery and that broken bone. And then I would say probably another 4 weeks for Yelich. That might even leak into June. But so that's just some of the updates on some of the Brewers and the Brewers happenings right now, so to speak. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Aaron says Ahmad Carroll was a failure. Oh, he was terrible. He was terrible. No doubt. And a lot of people over in the cheap seats and such. Jair Alexander had a couple of good years. That's from Mark, and he was good. He just, he just got hurt. Cork says there's so many good players that are drafted every season by all these teams. I believe that coaching and management support are way more important than just the player being picked. Look at players who leave one team and do much better with others. That's true. There's a couple of guys that you could look at. Micah Hyde is one of them that he went on and had a really good, really kind of sustained career, if you want to call it that, elsewhere. But there's not a lot of guys that leave here and go have these just monster careers somewhere else. You know? Not too many. I mean, TJ Slayton played okay for Cincinnati. Mike Daniels did okay in Cincinnati and Detroit, but nobody really went and just had these monster years, you know? Trying to think who else. I'm just kind of going through some of these recent draft picks. Like Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he went and had, you know, a career. He won a Super Bowl. He did it with Patrick Mahomes. But it wasn't like he was all of a sudden, he went from being Marquez Valdes-Scantling here to, you know, the next coming of Jerry Rice. He was just a good piece for them. Aaron Jones had a good season his first year with the Vikings, without a doubt. Kenny Clark had a pretty good year with Dallas this past year. They didn't want to get rid of him, though. I mean, be honest with you. But in that trade, you had to give something up. So you knew you were giving up some quality. But I started going through this list. Clinton Dix played a little bit. Devontae Adams has certainly gone on and had some success as well. It's not like he fell off. But yeah, I'm trying to think here. I'm going through this whole list of, you know, players. J.C. Treader played pretty well for Detroit. Micah Hyde, we mentioned. I'm just trying to think of who else really kind of left and went on and had a deal, man, had a career in. So that either says something about Green Bay and how they utilize these guys, or that maybe when they drafted them, they just weren't that damn good. Mark says, what about Caleb Schlauderhoff? Yeah, right. Wasn't he Caleb Schlauderhoff? I can't remember where he even went to school. It was like Utah or something, Utah State or something like that. I can't remember where he went. Yeah, nobody else off the top of my head that I can look at and go, oh yeah, that guy went and had a career. Nope. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Michael says, how about Aaron Rodgers? His stats have been almost exactly the same as Jordan Love's. His numbers have fallen off. This past year, he played pretty well. I'll give you that. I really thought, though, Aaron Rodgers was going to have a year. I really did. When they brought in DK Metcalf, they tried to bolster the offensive line a little bit. And the way guys kind of bought in after listening to a lot of the guys, Cam Hayward especially, who was critical of Aaron Rodgers coming out of training camp, and I thought, okay, I think he's poised for a really good year. And he had a good year. It wasn't a great year. It wasn't an Aaron Rodgers year. You know, you can clearly see the decline. I still can't believe that Pittsburgh is doing this dance. Now, if they had somebody waiting in the wings, they wouldn't be doing the dance. Let's be honest. But I think the fact that they're going through this again. I mean, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I was listening now. People say that Mike Florio hates him. I think Mike Florio gets irritated by Aaron Rodgers, who always criticizes the media and says he never listens, but always brings up everything that bothers him about the media for something somebody has said, which is so hypocritical. And I get it. But there's nobody in the draft this year that's really going to make you jump out and go, wow. You know, I mean, they got into the postseason. They played poorly against a team that, you know, their quarterback, by the way, probably had one of his most horrific games. And Rodgers looked slow. That defense chased him down. It wasn't a great performance by any stretch of the imagination. And at this age, he needs people around him. Father Time, you know, the ultimate Father Time is undefeated. We all know that. But the fact that they're going through this again, my question is, and I get it if you're a Pittsburgh fan, you're like, oh, God, I can't believe he's making us wait and yada, yada. I think he should just come out and say, look, I don't want to go through the OTA stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to come in for the mandatory minicamp and then training camp, and that's it. But you've got a new offensive coordinator. You've got obviously a very familiar head coach, but a new offensive coordinator. They're going to use different terminology and different things. What is Rodgers going to do? I mean, you would assume he would say, hey, yeah, I need to get involved with this guy and help, him either shape me or me shape him, vice versa. But the thought is that this guy's going to install all this stuff with these young guys. The quarterbacks are going to, learn all this terminology. And then Rodgers is going to come in and say, no, I don't want to do that. I want to change it to this. And then they're all going to have to learn Aaron's way. I mean, that's kind of the thinking, and that's what's pissing people off. So I don't know. But that's not our headache anymore. That's not our headache anymore. He's 4 years now removed from Green Bay. But now everybody gets to see on two different stages other than the Green Bay Packers stage what the Packers internally were dealing with. And it's not all Aaron, because there are alternatives out there for him to choose from, and he's earned that right. But for a guy that says he doesn't want people to talk about him and wants to fade off into nothingness after he retires and doesn't pay attention to the media. I mean, some people say he loves this, that people are talking about him. Well, I mean, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. 877-867-1670. Yeah, Casey Hayward was another guy that went on and had a pretty decent career. He played, I think it was for San Diego. So, yeah, it was. Scott just hit me up email-wise and said it was San Diego. And there was two other people that said, okay, what about Casey Hayward? Yeah, you're right. Went on and played pretty well for San Diego. Yeah, in Pittsburgh, they're not going to really draft anybody probably until next year, Pittsburgh is not really going to do much until next year. 877-867-1670. Next year is supposed to be a much better quarterback draft class than what this year is. And then maybe there's some opportunity for them to move up and use some capital.
I feel like is what people have been saying about the Steelers for 6 years, probably even before Big Ben retired, which was in 2021. Like, well, next year will be the year, and then they don't. And well, next year certainly they'll draft one next year. And I know none of these drafts, or not all these drafts, have been unbelievable quarterback drafts. But the Packers found one in the late 20s. The Eagles found there in the second round. There's guys to be drafted. The Steelers just seem like they don't want to draft a quarterback. Like they can't just be bothered by it.
Right.
Like, we'll build our defense and, bring in Mike McCarthy and we'll just keep chugging along.
Yep, exactly. We'll just keep chugging, doing what we're doing. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. Again, 877-867-1670 and find us. What do we have here? I got this email, and this is from Mark. Mark says, hey, guys, I think cornerback is going to be an area in which the Green Bay Packers have to draft. I would like to see them get at least 3. I figure 1 out of 3 would hit, and that would at least add depth to this team. Maybe somebody in the secondary could be better than Carrington Valentine. They can finally get rid of his ass. And it would be, and then he says, P.S. it would be pretty easy to throw him out the door because he doesn't fight anybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate the email. This is from Joe. Joe's got a Brewers fun fact. Watching the back-to-back triples last night, he said, Sanchez and Mitchell, I wanted to do some digging. I tried for a long time, but could not find an instance where the Brewers have ever done this. We had teams hit back-to-back triples against us, but I cannot find an instance where Brewers have ever done it. Wondering for yourself, another listener can ever help me remember, has it happened before? Sorry, I just sent this and showed it on the broadcast. It happened in 2015. Please disregard. Okay. So Joe with the fun fact that wasn't. Thank you very much, Joe. Still makes you think. I like that. Still makes you think. I'm all in. This is from Jason. Jason says, hey, guys, I think it's imperative they get 1 or 2 guys up front on the defensive line. When you get big beef up front, it always puts pressure on a quarterback, stops the run game, and makes the secondary that much better when they can predict when passes are actually going to be thrown. Plus, you put Micah Parsons coming off the edge. Once he comes back, I think things are going to be just fine. They only need 1 other true corner that is going to help them. So 2 or 3 defensive linemen, a corner, and after that, let the chips fall where they may. Go Pack, go. Jason, you the man. Jason, thanks so much. Shooting us the email. And being the voice of optimism. Flatsmack says, Rodgers and McCarthy winning another Super Bowl together would not surprise me. I don't think Pittsburgh has the talent. I mean, if there's injuries around them, but look at the division they play in. Now, granted, you've got all new head coaches except for the mighty Zach Taylor in Cincinnati, right? But I think in that division, they're probably them and Cleveland are battling for the basement. Cincinnati's invested in that defense, finally. They still got two of the best wideouts in all of football, in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. They've got an unbelievable quarterback that right now is in his prime. It just depends on what elevation the new coaching staff in Baltimore gives them and how much leeway or non-leeway there is for Lamar Jackson to run the team. So if Lamar Jackson is held accountable and gets better, then I think Baltimore is going to be the team to beat. If not, if that defense is even in the top 12, Cincinnati, and their secondary is terrible, but if they're in the top 12 with the offense that they have, and if they get an offensive lineman or two that's either good enough to start or a good backup, I think they'll be better. So I don't even think Pittsburgh is in the top 2 of that division. And I don't see them. I can see them maybe winning 9 games, 10 games. But winning a Super Bowl, not unless everybody around them gets hurt. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I got a buddy of mine, Jeff Allen. He does radio down in Arkansas. I always see him every year out at Super Bowl. And we always sit there and talk about the Steelers and such. And there's just, even him and I have texted back and forth and stuff. And he's like, yeah, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So, making a meter move. There you go. 48.78 keeps climbing. 48.80 by the end of the show would be nice. 48.80. There's 2 more people out there that haven't followed us yet on Instagram. We'd appreciate that. Certainly would. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. If you need an attorney, we've got one for you. Levine Iceburner. And Brent Iceburner was in the military. He's a veteran. He's also on the board of directors of Fisher House, Wisconsin. He brings the same attention to detail and tenacity to the courtroom, to your case. And oh, by the way, he actually answers the phone. He's not a figurehead. He's not a commercial guy. He just goes to court and does his thing. Now, right now, he's on a much-deserved vacation after he was in court over a long trial. But I know he's back on Monday. And if you need anything, whether it's a personal injury or maybe you just want a contract drawn up or civil litigation coming up, a business dispute or estate planning or something, they can do it. Call them 60. They got plenty of people in the office, by the way. But Brent Iceburner, whose name is on the shingle, he's the guy that actually answers his phone. Call him and tell him I sent you. 608-621-2888. 608-621-2888. Levine Iceburner, 608-621-2888. 88. Tell them we sent you.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Swallow my pride, I would choke on the rhymes, but the lack thereof burning me on the inside. I would swallow my doubt, turn it inside out, find nothing but faith in nothing. Warm for my tender heart in a blender, watch it spin around to a beautiful oblivion. Rendezvous, then I'm through.
Welcome back.
SoCal is where my mind stays.
Bill Michaels Show.
I'm not as ugly, sad.
I have been doing this show a long time. Been doing this show a long time, and we have run off the rails. Grant, have you taken a look at our text line?
No, I normally don't during the show, but now I feel like I need to pull
full
it up.
of testicle information. Just saying.
Wow.
Out of the 920, by the way, he said, did you say Zane Anderson? Come on, he doesn't do a damn thing. Have you watched him on special teams? You have no idea what you're talking about. Dude is a special teams gamer. Watch that guy. He's a hitter. I love Zane Anderson. He's not going to bust the lineup as a starter because he's not going to displace Evan Williams. But yes, Zane Anderson, hitter on special teams. Watch him. That just goes to prove that you need more film study. The Testicle Festival in Dundas, near Kaukauna. Jody in Platteville, who I met at the Twisted Fisherman downtown, says called it the Test Fest in Anaco. Todd in Appleton, he said it's real, but it's in Dundas near Kaukauna. Yeah, you know. Yes, there's a Testicle Festival. Okay, great. Steven Sparta says, tastes like chicken, question mark. Duck and Holman says, order of testicles, please. Hold the beanbag. 920 says, yes, Bill, do the show there. You will be an absolute rock star. Rock, get it? Steve says, Bill, your show is nuts today. Maybe this one says maybe we just need better scouts in the cornerback room. I wonder, this out of the 608 says, I wonder who the testicle queen is and what she identifies as. Jeez. There you go. So that's it. Goes on and on. Just all testicles today. Crazy. Yeah, Goose Egg says, I like Zane Anderson. I do too. Watch that guy hit on. You don't have many kamikazes on special teams. He's one of them. I love the way that guy hits. Watch him. You can watch him and then come back to me. No, he's not your starter in the secondary, but when he's had opportunities, he's actually played decent. Goose Egg says, Ebo was talking wieners this morning, so your show covers the rest of it. Good Lord. I feel like a Shabuzi song should come on now. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. Hit us up. Oh, I don't even know where to go. Don't even know where to go with all this. Yeah, Zane Anderson's with the Dolphins now. I forgot about that. They let him go. He was a special teamer, though. I liked him. Liked him a lot. Dude, but he wasn't going to crack the starting lineup here, so yeah, go ahead. You're not going to pay him. But I liked him. Gail says, yeah, Gail has actually been a judge at the Barbecue Test Fest. said it's a real thing. Oh, God. Okay, Gail. Gail says, I was a judge at the Barbecue Test Fest. Says you judge it by flavor, texture. It's a real thing. You have to have a special taste. And apparently she travels. She says, I've been to the Oyster Festival in Colorado. They also do it down in New Orleans. Okay, I didn't know that, but they got frog's legs in New Orleans too, and I wouldn't eat that. So, okay. So, Gail, thank you very much for your testicle experience. Jeez. Holy crap. Shane says, I'm 4 miles from the festival. You're welcome to join us this summer. Let me know the date. Let me know the date of that thing. I'm praying to God I got something going on. But if I don't, maybe I'll show up. Just, oh, God. What could the T-shirts possibly be there? You know? What would the T-shirts be if you're going to go to Test Fest, right? Wisco family says if you broadcast live from there, you're going to need a new suit like the bunny suit or the St. Patrick's Day suit. You need one for Test Fest. What do you do? What do you come as? Just a pink bodysuit? Just
pink and wrinkly, ideally, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Oh. Sponsored by Plexiderm, no doubt. Yeah, Gary says it's real. It's real. There's one in Minnesota too. Otter Tail, Minnesota. Testicle Festival. Oh my God. Okay. God. I can only imagine what people are wearing, like what things would be worn on their heads and stuff, you know. Hats. Okay. I can't. Oh, Mark, I'm not even reading that. That is so dirty and disgusting, and it doesn't leave anything to the imagination. I can't read that, Mark. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. Thompson says, God, Thompson said, I've been to the Testicle Festival. He said, I just can't. I wonder who gave their all for our culinary pleasure. That's from Thompson. What is wrong with you people? Yeah. Right? Oh, God, we got to bring it back to straight. By the way, Anthony's listening to us at Stenny's North Shore. He said, I'm having the crab rangoon right now, listening to the program. I wanted to come in and try it. Stenny's is a pleasure. Great staff, great people. Love being here. Love the Brewers chatter as well. Good update on Quinn Priester. Thank you very much. Wow, thank you for the email. Thank you for bringing a little sense back to the program. Like that. Like it a lot. And this is from Stan. Stan says, did I hear you correctly? Was Bill Clinton really at the presser for the Cowboys? He wasn't giving it. He just walked in out of nowhere. I don't know why he was there. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But in the sense of our show, if you could get those two, Bill and Jerry, together talking about some kind of Arkansas good old days and chicks and brisket, it would be probably a scintillating conversation. Something that would give us 2 days worth of pleasure and fun, right? So, but otherwise, I don't care. I care about as much about that as I do about the whole Vrabel Rossini thing. It doesn't matter. I had people emailing me yesterday about what Vrabel said or didn't say. Two things. One, he didn't admit to anything. He didn't necessarily deny it, but he didn't admit to anything. And the whole argument of I had to have tough conversations, that leads the imagination to say, okay, there was something real there, and he had to go talk to his wife and his family. And so, but you don't know. It could have been just like a tough conversation because his wife was really pissed. Like, what are you doing in the hot tub with a really hot chick like Diana Rossini? What are you doing? Why would you be doing that? If I was in the hot tub with a hot guy, you'd be pissed. You know, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, right. So I had to have a tough conversation. I don't know. I don't know what went on behind closed doors. I don't know. He didn't do her any favor. That's for damn sure. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you. So anyway, I don't care about that either. Oh, my God. Out of the 608, he said, I went to the Testicle Festival, had a ball. that's Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. That would be it. Thank you very much. What would the Bill Michaels special be at the Testicle Festival? I don't even know. I don't even know.
Medium rare. Little pink in the middle.
I'm out. I'm out. Oh, this portion of insanity brought to you by Potawatomi. I gotta go.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Powell Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Now get 0% interest until 2030. That's years of no interest, so you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. But order by April 30th. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Restrictions apply. 4/31/26.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Not unlike any other draft, we'll have some players that we'll talk about moving up to go get. I'm sure there'll be some scenarios to move back as well. So, but it's always hard to watch these players we've studied so thoroughly over the last few months and year really to come off and not help the Green Bay Packers right now.
Welcome back. Brian Gutekunst speaking to the media yesterday and talking about how difficult it is to, scout these guys, pay attention to these guys, and to get to know these guys, maybe interview these guys, start to fall in love with some of their numbers and such. And all of a sudden, no more because they come off the board. So you got to kind of remain patient. You don't want to, jump up just to jump up because you fell in love with a guy. And that was one of Ted Thompson's bugaboos. He said, you never can fall in love with anybody. You just stick to your board and try not to get emotional about the NFL draft. Joining us now on the hotline from Sumer Sports, our buddy Sam Bruchhaus is here. Sam, how you been, pal?
I've been fantastic. I'm getting ready to fly to lovely Atlanta, Georgia, to the Sumer Sports studios to film our live draft show, which will be on YouTube on @SumerSports. If you're watching on YouTube, go subscribe right now. It's going to be me. It's going to be Lindsey Rhodes. It's going to be Mike Mayock making his return to live draft coverage. And then Friday and Saturday, it's just going to be this ugly mug up there all the time talking draft.
Well, my question to you, to the ugly mug, is if you're the Green Bay Packers and you just heard Brian Gutekunst, how hard it is to kind of stand pat and to wait until 52 to be able to draft somebody. If you guys do all the mocks, what do you think the Packers are looking at?
So let's talk about standing pat real quick. There is definitely a difference between 52 in the consensus pick board or in the draft position and, 15 or 30. The good thing is you have premium positions. You have Micah Parsons on the team. You have Jordan Love on the team. And that's typically the only place where you can find quarterbacks or quality edge rushers are going to be at the very tippy top of the draft. Wide receiver, very similar. A lot of assets have been spent on wide receivers. So where I think they are perfectly suited to go, 52 is actually one of my favorite spots in this draft. And especially for the Green Bay Packers, because you could potentially go offensive line depth. Keelan Rutledge right now, who I love. Frankly, I think he's going to get taken in the first round. But in the consensus, he's around 51 in mock drafts. Great interior offensive line player, will provide depth. Lee Hunter, interior defensive line, got to have some replacements there. You may be looking at D'Angelo Pons if he drops a spot or two to play a nickel slot cornerback position, also add depth to the defensive backfield. In my opinion, those are the three biggest needs right now for the Green Bay Packers, they will all be available at 52. And moreover, they are 3 positions that I actually think will have a flatter draft curve this year, meaning that if you do decide to go interior offensive line, defensive line, or defensive back, I think the players that will be available at 52 are actually closer to the players that will be drafted in the first round than the other positions.
Yeah, it doesn't. When you and I talked to the combine, we thought, okay, there's a few guys, it's kind of top heavy in the top 10, 15. After that, it really kind of, it's not that there's bad players. It's just that nobody stands out. The elite are gone. And then there's this level of pool. And then it doesn't have a ton of drop off. So, nobody's really going to be wanting to trade up desperately unless they feel like the other team that they're fighting for wants that wide receiver or wants that running back. So if you stand pat, chances are you're still going to probably get a pretty good player, right?
I think so. I think you're looking at this draft, and because there's so many question marks. Number one, about where the extreme premium, non-premium players are going to go. I'm talking about Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and Jeremiah Love in particular, that teams may kind of lose it and move up and try to get those players. And then you're sitting there with really good players just getting pushed down the board. And that has trickle down effects. So there's a real chance that a first round talent could actually fall to 52. We typically don't see that happen in like a 20 pick range per se. But if it's going to happen, this is going to be the draft because of the wide receivers at the top. I think that there's immense demand for them at the top. The offensive tackles, I think as many as 7 or 8 tackles could go in the first 25 picks, much less the first round. And if that starts happening in these runs on the premium non-premium positions and the premium positions, then you start getting safeties, linebackers, interior offensive linemen, tight ends, interior defensive linemen falling down the board, and that's a perfect setup for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, we all know they need corners, and Goody has made no bones about it that they have to add to that room. We all know they want to add maybe a true. He even said one of his quotes yesterday, which I thought was so kind of interesting. He said, "I've got an appetite for a pure nose." So we're probably thinking they're going to get a defensive lineman, a pure nose tackle, and he is not adverse to adding to the wide receiver room as well. But when you guys go through and say, okay, this team needs this, and this, what are your priorities when you look at the Green Bay Packers?
I think you nailed it right there. I think interior defensive line is the key, and I think adding defensive back depth. I also do think we talked about it all last year. Inconsistencies across the offensive line. Not a lot has changed in the offensive line. That is something that I think they can address in the middle rounds certifiably. I think talking about best player available, you take the best player available at 52. In my mind, if D'Angelo Pons is available, you got to take him.
Do you take him as small as he is, as short as he is?
100%. He is one of the best analytical profiles for a defensive back that we have seen. The things that we really care about, yards per coverage snap, is the one that we really, really care about. Patrick Surtain's excellent at it. You see other guys in the league that are excellent at it. He was 99th percentile going back to 2016 amongst cornerbacks in the draft. He shut people completely down. And he wasn't playing Joe Schmoes. He did it at James Madison, but then he also did it in Indiana. He was shutting down the Jeremiah Smiths of the world, et cetera, et cetera. So Pons, I think, is a player that reasonably dropped to 52. He doesn't have premier size. But when you're sitting at 52, that's great value if you can get a player like that. And I'm really intrigued by him. I think that should be the best player available. Frankly, I think he may get taken earlier, however.
I was going to say, I said all along, if he was 6 foot, he's top 10. Hands down, right?
Yeah, but he makes plays. Like the problem with the 5'9" guys is that they're going to be able to mirror and they're going to be able to, eliminate space, but you'll never get the playmaking ability. Pons makes plays, and he did it in the Big Ten. He did it at other places. So when you have that playmaking ability and you're not going to get mossed per se, I just think he's going to be the best available player. If he's not taken, I know there's interest in him in the high 40s potentially. So I think he could come off the board a little higher. Our scouts love him. The analytics love him. And when the eye meets the AI, that's when there's real juice behind these prospects.
What do you think of Keontae Scott? He's another guy out of Miami, a corner, rated in that 45 to 55 range. If he's there, should the Packers grab him?
He's another guy that I consider as someone, basically Scott and Pons in particular are the reason why I would hold off from taking Jermon McCoy if the injury report is not very good. You look at Avion Terrell and some of the other cornerbacks at the top. I'm just am not in love with their analytics. And so I think you're okay dropping back there. So I think Keontae Scott should definitely be considered as well. That's a guy who pretty much exclusively played slot as compared to Pons, who pretty much exclusively played outside and people are projecting to slot. But I think Scott in particular, we have him as one of the most athletic defensive backs using our tracking data. And I think that's a good sign. There are, didn't really participate at the combine, some injury concerns, potentially some character concerns as well. But I think, you get a player like that into Green Bay and it probably will be a very good fit with the great coaching that they have.
Is there a guy, because the Packers have Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine. Carrington Valentine can play really well one game, and the next game gets tossed around like a rag doll, and his tackling prowess is none. So you look at Keyshawn Nixon and say, okay, he's not a CB1, but if you get a guy alongside him that's pretty good, he can be better. Is there a guy in the draft that would be there at this, this drafting of 52 that is actually an outside guy that can play maybe man?
I'd really say that Pons is that guy.
Pons is that guy. Okay.
Yeah, I from the analytical perspective think so. Obviously, coaches have different taste, but he did it for a national championship undefeated team and was the absolute cornerstone of that defense. So much so that teams just kind of stopped targeting him as the year went on. People just stopped challenging him. And when you can cut that half of the field off, he's really a projection to the nickel position because he played extremely well outside. He's a guy who can do it all. That's the one. That's the certified one. If he falls to the Packers at 52, you will see me clapping and running around our studios in Atlanta because that's kind of a perfect fit for him, and it's a perfect fit for the Packers.
Okay, maybe you've convinced me, I think. What about Christian Miller? He's another guy that's going to be there in that particular area. Big defensive tackle out of Georgia. There's a couple of guys that I'm kind of eyeballing. I mean, obviously, you got some other guys that could be there. That could also be in the secondary. If you wanted to go like Malik Muhammad would be another one. He'd be that guy. But there's a couple of guys I look at the nose tackle position or up front. That big kid who's 6'8" out of Ole Miss. His name escapes me at the minute. But there's a couple of guys that I'm kind of looking. That would be a really good fit for the Packers, no matter who falls to them.
Yeah, Christian Miller is a apex prospect when it comes to just the idea. He's coming from a big school. He's a 4 or 5 star recruit. He's bringing all of that with him. A little bit of an injury concern from time to time. Athletic guy built out of stone. I do wonder, however, you go and you look around kind of more the 84 pick. I wonder if that's not the spot for defensive line for the Packers. I'm looking at Grayson Halton, who is expected to go late 70s, early 80s. He's like my certified defensive tackle guy. A little smaller, not necessarily a true nose, as Good said that he wanted. But this is a guy who's going to get penetration. He can line up all over the field. He's great in our analytics. He is a little on the smaller side. That's kind of the trend this year with the guys that I really like for the Packers picks. But he stood out at the Senior Bowl as well. Again, eye meeting the AI really makes a difference to me. And if I were a general manager, those are the players that I would want to attack hard. And so he's really a guy that I really like in that position. I do wonder if 84 is more of the position to go and try to get an interior defensive lineman more than 52, where you're kind of dealing more with, can I get another offensive lineman later on in the draft? Am I comfortable with that? Can I get another cornerback later in the draft? I don't really think so.
What about Big Citrus? I mean, he's another guy that's been talked about time and again as far as where the Packers could possibly draft. If he's available, are you grabbing Big Citrus?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on here with these kinds of players.
Right.
Orange in particular was a guy we highlighted on the evaluation as a guy that our scouts really liked. He didn't necessarily have the analytical profile that we wanted to see, but that's typical amongst guys who are 320, 330 pounds, because they're not going to be a 3-down player unless they're an absolute freak like the guys the Philadelphia Eagles have on the interior defensive line. Mm-hmm. And so all of that kind of blends itself together to make this kind of board where you do take the best player available. Like when it comes down to it, trust the board. I think you are absolutely correct, Bill. Like that has to be the plan for the Green Bay Packers this year. And I think it's all going to work out for them if that's the case. You know, Dominic Orange sitting there at 66. He's going to be in range at 52. And once you start getting further into the second and third rounds, you can move to a 10 pick radius and still feel comfortable in terms of like the consensus and where you may have guys on your board, et cetera, et cetera. So I think he's another viable option, particularly at 52. And if a swap does become available where you move back to the 70s, maybe you add some more mid-round or next year elements, given that you are a team that is in this best player available mode. You know that you're going to be able to compete. You know that you have talent at the quarterback position. You know you have talent at the edge rushing position. It's a very comfortable spot to be in for the Green Bay Packers.
Here's one more question for you. And the Packers, Goody likes to every other year maybe grab himself a quarterback. I don't think they're going to do it this year. But is there a quarterback that you would take late in this draft that would be somewhat of a project that could maybe be a backup to Desmond Ridder?
You look at the success that they had with Malik Willis. Mm-hmm. And the guy who fits that mold this year is Cole Payton out of North Dakota State. A guy who can run. A guy, if it comes down to it, they can break out that weird little wing tee offense that they did early on in the season. I guess it was 2 years ago now, and they did a little bit this season as well, where you have a guy who can run, who can complete passes over the middle and the intermediate range. But he's not going to be Jordan Love. He's not going to be throwing the ball down the field. He's not going to be dropping back 35, 40 times a game.
Right.
That's the mold that I think LaFleur can really attack for a backup project quarterback. And it's definitely Cole Payton this year. I think you look at the guys like Nussmeier, and I'd even consider Ty Simpson in this range, and Beck. They're not going to provide you a ton of value over what you can really expect. But you add a guy like Cole Payton into a system where we've seen a Malik Willis turn his career around, and that's a real victory for them. And he's going to be available well later in the draft.
Great stuff, Sam. And next week we'll get you on to kind of evaluate what you think the Green Bay Packers did or how they did, okay?
I would love to do it, Bill. Thank you all so much.
Appreciate it, bud. There you go. Sam Bruchhaus from Sumer Sports joining us for a couple of minutes. We appreciate his time as always. He's always good. We'll get him back on next week for sure. And then we will kind of evaluate what the Packers did in this draft. This portion of the program brought to you by our good friends. If you're looking for some good barbecue tonight, I know we're getting close to May when they start with the bike nights on Tuesday nights, but bike night is almost any night, especially a night like tonight where you want to ride down there, 75 degrees and sunny. Get yourself some good award-winning barbecue. And speaking of riding, they do have a very limited amount of tickets left for the Harley-Davidson they're giving away coming up here in about a month. I think there's only 20-something tickets left, and that's it. So if you're thinking about maybe the possibility of winning a brand new Harley-Davidson, not only it does, give you the possibility, but they also have all the proceeds go to the Thin Blue Line down there in Walworth County, helping out some of the social services down there. Great cause, great bunch of people. LDSBBQ.com. That's LDSBBQ.com. Main Street and East Troy, Wisconsin. It is worth the ride.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back in. Oh, geez, out of the 920. Said, yeah, at the Testicle Festival, they have great T-shirts. He's got one. The Testicle Festival. He said it's like a mini Oktoberfest. You would love it. Okay. All right, that's awesome. Okay, maybe we might have to do the Testicle Festival at some point. Who knows? Who knows? Welcome back to the program. We are glad you were with us, at least for the final segment of the day, which, it's one of those things where you just kind of go, okay, thank God. Thank God. But the comment of the day regarding the Testicle Festival is, who does this come from? God, I think it was Scott who said, I would order it extra spicy with the jerk sauce. Oh, ew. Okay, now we've gone way off the ledge. Thank God this show's coming to an end. What do we got tomorrow? Tomorrow, obviously, we have more draft coverage and then getting you ready for tomorrow night's NFL draft. We'll talk about the Brewers. So hopefully they can get win number 2 in the series and win the series against the Detroit Tigers coming up a little bit later on tonight. 5:40 is first pitch. Good news today that out of the Brewers camp, you're going to have Priester's going to be going to the Hill down in Nashville and trying to get his rehab start going. So that's a positive. Anything coming up on the Wisco Sports Show, Grant, that's better than a Testicle Festival?
Well, nothing's better than a Testicle Festival. Jesse Temple tonight. And we'll discuss a little bit on my show last night. We learned that John Blackwell's going to Duke and Nolan Winter's back. So we'll talk about that. And my Brewers take, and we didn't really talk much about the Brewers today, and I get with the draft coming up. I was happy to see them whoop an opponent last night. Yeah. Like pour it on offensively.
They blew it up.
They've been surviving, scraping across, and that's fine. But you can only win so many games like that. So to see them really string hits together and pour it on last night, I think that's a good sign. That made me happy.
They poured it on. They did that. You were correct. So there you go. That's going to do it. Thank God the Testicle Festival is over with. Okay. We'll be back at it again tomorrow and getting you ready for the NFL draft and all that kind of good stuff. Excited about that. We got 20 hours to go regroup, get back at it, and come back at it again tomorrow.